irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON info.com.
Hurry into Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin and save up to $700. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying Sealy purchase. Or shop Tempur-Pedic and save $500 on select adjustable mattress sets. Plus, get a $300 instant gift. Mattresses and bases are in stock for fast delivery. With our Love Your Mattress guarantee, get the lowest price and 120 nights to sleep on it. Only at Mattress Firm. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover.
It just crossed him over.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Time for the crossover.
Hey!
John and Josh are here. Hi, guys.
Oh, it's busted. You can't hear. Can you hear me?
No.
Busted.
Oh no!
Like it's literally.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was hammering the button.
What
today.
are you doing?
Who are you, Nick Baugh?
I was just.
Jeez,
I was going.
You just want me to turn you on, John?
Lord.
I mean, there is that option still.
Oh, you never turned it on?
Does it work?
Yeah. Oh,
is it
Nick.
working? Yeah.
Yeah. All you had to do is click the on button.
Yeah, it's just the button.
Oh yeah, I thought it was just broken.
And now you're back on.
I figured Nick would have like tested, like, oh, let me see if I turn it on.
Well, no, I wasn't afraid that was the issue. I thought
we were
specifically talking about the button, so I wasn't
John's
worried
making
about
it seem like the whole thing's
John's
broke.
going under the hood.
I didn't want to touch it to, while John was fixing it.
It wasn't working.
Yeah.
That's because Nick didn't turn
wasn't
it on.
working.
Yeah.
I had to
was afraid it
troubleshoot.
killed everything.
I'm not
John troubleshoot.
Yeah. See, he had the same concern I did, that it killed everything.
The button is.
Y'all
dead.
broke it.
Oh yeah,
Folks.
I was just ripping that thing.
Rapid fire.
What is it, like a game to you people or something?
Hap,
I don't understand.
Speaking of
Why are we
games,
breaking
have you
all
played
this
the new
stuff?
Flight Sim update yet?
No, I had to undownload it to create space on my Xbox because it's too big of a
Such
game.
a big game.
Yeah.
It's like 130 gigs.
Yeah.
Is this the Nebraska Coaching Search Edition where the plane never leaves the ground?
Hey! No,
They added gliders and helicopters.
a plane went to Charlotte, John.
Oh,
Went to
yeah.
CLT.
Cool.
Went to the CLT.
Went to the CLT. Cool.
Oh, yeah. They found it. They found the CLT. It
Josh,
was
you gonna
nice.
get a
I don't
CLT
believe you.
jersey?
Yeah, I might have to.
They
A
have
shirt?
those.
Ask for one for Christmas? Ask for one for Christmas?
Yeah.
Who would you ask that for Christmas from?
I don't know. My mom and dad.
My wife.
My wife. Happer, maybe Happer.
Mom, can I have the CLT?
Please, I want the jersey. Like, what are you talking about, son? Like, I don't know.
You want me to buy you what? Pretty bad.
Yep.
Yep, that's it.
There was a plane. I don't know who's on it.
Train? Automobile?
I don't know.
I mean, it's very possible they might be cooking it old school and like sending a covered wagon for the next coach.
Oh,
Little
Wagon
stagecoach,
train.
little stagecoach action.
Hard to do flight aware for a stagecoach.
That's right.
Trev knows what he's doing.
That's
You
right.
don't have to register those. People
No,
forget.
you
yeah, those
don't.
wouldn't go on FlightAware.
You have to put a license plate on a stagecoach?
Yeah, I think
Well,
so.
if you're
It has
riding,
to be a
if it's-
licensed vehicle.
if it's riding on the highways, yeah.
Do the Amish have license plates on their bikes?
Yes, they do.
All right.
They do.
They also have to have the orange triangles.
Why did you say that so confidently? How did you know that?
Because you've never seen the movie Witness?
Nope.
No.
Great
Happer
movie.
hasn't seen any movie.
I've seen movies,
Witness,
but not that
Harrison
one.
Ford. He's a Philadelphia detective.
Get off my
There
plane!
was a
I
little,
thought that was
there's a
Air
little
Force One.
Amish boy and mother who had to go to the city. I can't remember what the reason was.
Rumspringa.
But the little boy was witness to a murder,
Oh, R.I.P.
and it involved some corrupt
Josh?
cops. And,
It's a movie, Nick.
And Harrison Ford plays the good detective who has to go live with the Amish to find out or to talk to the boy, protect the boy, because now the cops are after the boy because he saw the murder.
Does Harrison Ford go full Amish by the end?
Yes, he does.
And so
he has to assimilate with the culture.
He went undercover
as undercover.
This sounds kind of sick.
So the detail,
it's a good movie.
One of the details that you learned was that the Amish had to have license plates.
Yeah, because they travel through town, and they have the
it showed the license.
Do they make the Amish pay wheel tax?
I have no idea how that works.
Have you ever been driving down one of the back highways and seen the Amish wagons?
I've never known.
I've seen it. I've seen it before.
Yeah.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I didn't notice a license plate.
Yeah, if they use the, I don't know if it's like the exact same license plate as you put on a car or a truck, but it's some kind of a tag identification.
That's good to know.
That is good to know.
I'm glad.
And the best part is, even if there's an Amish person saying, no, you're wrong,
it's still AM radio.
They're not going to call. A, they're not going to hear this. And B, they're not going to be able to call to correct me.
That's true. Wow. So are we allowed as a society to still make fun of the Amish because they can't fight back?
Well, I'm not making fun of them.
You think the Amish like football?
You think it's targeting?
What?
You can't, defenseless.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Get the Aaron Sorensen tweet.
I would never make fun of the Amish. They're being.
They make great jam.
I wouldn't dare.
I have no takes on the Amish.
Get some jam from the Amana colony sometime.
Chance says that fully convinced that this fan base would have found Malaysia Flight 370 if they set their mind to it.
Ooh,
yeah,
dumb debates.
We love flight stuff.
Hope the next head coach wasn't on that one.
Well, yeah, me too. Trev gets up to announce it. So I have an announcement.
We had a coach, but he was on Malaysia Air Flight 370.
There was a prophecy
10 years ago.
There was a prophecy.
The way this coaching search is going, anything is possible.
John, couldn't it all just be happening in the silence of the night?
Yeah, what if
sure?
Are you starting to be a negative boy on the search?
I'm starting to be I don't give a damn anymore.
Is John
I really
tired
don't.
again?
No, I just don't give a damn
Why
anymore.
don't you give a damn? What?
I don't care.
Negative boys.
I really don't care. Just hire somebody, and I don't even care who it is.
This is what we knew was going to happen. It's only November 16th. They still have 2 games left.
Let me throw.
We're only 66 days in, John.
It's just it's gotten.
Yeah, we got 100
right?
days left. 100 days left.
66 days now.
I truly think that this is going to backfire in terms of fan excitement.
Oh, it's like I thought you
because
were saying
it's been so long that by the time we get to the point where a coach is announced, and because of the slog of the season, if the season had been better or so, maybe
they went 6-6.
I actually laid out a case for this today. I actually think you're right about this.
But by the time you get the announcement, and remember, there's not going to be a slam dunk, so it's already going to be met with some pushback. But the pushback may even be stronger just because it's like,
strong.
And people have split off.
You mean you wasted 75 or 80 or 90 or 100 days of my life for this? Great, cool.
As much as we talked about Trev needing to unite the fan base on Frost, and that happened in September, we have now split off into several different factions of what we need as the next head coach.
Oh, yeah.
And who
absolutely.
You
need. You just quote tweeted somebody.
Everybody is Mike Riley now.
I was going to say, John literally just quoted someone.
Everyone is Mike Riley.
Who said that
That's
Matt
the main reason why I don't care
Mike
anymore.
Riley.
It's like, you know what? Just hire somebody
so
because we're just going to call him Mike Riley anyway. Oh,
Matt
it's Mike
Campbell's
Riley.
Mike Riley.
They're all Mike Riley. You know
Riley.
what? As long as the next head coach is not the second coming of Scott Frost, I'm cool with it.
Nice.
The worst coach.
That's
the worst coach in Nebraska football history.
Nice. He took out
Period.
the modern. Nice.
Yeah.
So the idiot takes are bringing you down?
It's the idiot takes. It's just the length of it, too, and the fact that there's really nothing else out there. This is not usual because usually, listen, we can sit back all we want and say, well, they're just doing a great job of keeping everything quiet.
They're just doing a great job.
No, but in this industry, people talk.
Let me lay out a possibility.
People talk.
What if nothing has happened?
Well, then that's even worse.
He just hasn't contacted anybody.
What if nothing has happened?
Then that's literally the worst thing.
He's playing Wordle every day.
Yeah.
Still?
What if
see, that's the thing. I don't think that's happened.
He's like they've looked at this from a variety of different standpoints internally, but haven't necessarily aggressively gone outwards yet.
That would be a massive mistake at this point.
Mm-hmm.
an enormous mistake at this point. And I don't think that's happened. I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happened.
Wow.
But we're thinking about it.
Man, John, you're bringing me down. There's the song that says, "Don't bring me down." You're bringing me down.
down.
Dun, 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 dun.
Negative
voice.
You're still enjoying this?
No, absolutely not.
No,
Well, there you go.
But I care. I care what the answer is.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
I keep
I'm
making
gonna
calls.
Care,
I keep trying to find the answer.
Just at this point, because here's the thing. It's going to happen, and you're going to get people that are going to complain and bitch and moan and do all that other stuff.
Can't wait for the post-game show on the hiring.
And so at this point, it almost doesn't matter who it is.
Joel says, Nebraska coaching search, all length, no girth.
Put it on a shirt.
Put it on a shirt.
But I do wonder if it's going to be met with a lot more.
It's definitely going to be met with meh. Definitely.
For a variety of reasons, and one of which is it went too long.
Are we that hungry for the announcement to where, like, I don't know, we can't wait another 14 days? I'm okay. All things considered, I'm okay. Like, I'm going to complain about it. I'm going to complain about it, but really, like, you know, they're going to have a coach in 14 days, and
some of this too is I think it's just get this season over with.
That is
having a big
get
impact.
this season over with. This is just and it's not because the kids ain't trying, and it ain't because Mickey's not trying, but it's just ugh. Just all of it is just ugh.
Yeah, no, it's not fun. Not fun for everybody. It drags the whole thing down.
Yeah.
So we have now circled again back to he made a mistake by not firing Frost last year.
Well, but
did he make a mistake by not by firing him? Should he have kept him? Dumb debates.
I laid that out today too.
Should he have kept him? What was your argument? What's the argument for and what's the argument against?
Well, the argument you're talking about the argument for keeping him.
Why should Frost still be the coach today?
Honestly,
because in your head you fired him months ago,
Right.
and you let the season go on
because you want him to suffer. That's
and
why.
you want him to
I mean,
suffer, and you
that's
duct
the
tape his
answer.
eyes open at Michigan.
Yeah.
It's like right.
But-
And then you have
but
a
that's
coaching
not-
search
but that's
behind the
not-
scenes the entire time.
Yeah.
And it ends up potentially the same way it might still end up.
But it's in a everyone then can just be mad at Frost the whole time. They can
And
direct
the coaching,
all their anger at
yes,
Frost.
And the coaching search takes 10 seconds.
Yeah, but you know what? That would also backfire because eventually people would be like,
Why
"Why
don't
didn't
you
you
fire
just
him?"
fire him
Yeah, that's
already?"
true, that's true.
So it all yes.
But
was
what
it a
if he
mistake
kept him
to bring
until,
him
like,
back?
November?
Absolutely, it was a mistake to bring him back.
Yeah,
What we said is
what if they had fired him like today or Monday or
What
this
if-
past Monday?
So let's say they have the same start. They're 3-3, and then they finally lose and they miss a bowl game, and he's like, "See you later." But I guess it's then people say, "Why couldn't you have just given him 2 more weeks?" You
The
know?
thing was, though, it was
After the Illinois Minnesota game.
It was we were getting very close. Can you imagine what that week would have been like after Georgia Southern?
He would have had to do a vote of confidence. He would have had to say, "Nope, he's not getting fired."
Right, but how toxic that week would have been.
Mm-hmm.
And then Oklahoma happens, and Oklahoma boat races them, and how toxic that would have been. It would have been a much worse situation. So yes,
You're right.
of all the options, obviously firing him at the end of last season is the best option. Firing him when he did get fired was the second best option, and keeping him until now or the end of this season is like way down on the list because it would have gotten massively toxic around here. While yes, it's kind of frustrating and it's been a slog, it's not toxic.
Yeah.
If Frost is still around here, things would have gotten really bad. And then some of the
Good
stuff
perspective.
Then some of the stuff about the not being in meetings and some of the personal stuff would have eventually.
Oh yeah, Frost would have gone like
It
tour
would-
de force against
It would have boiled up over the surface, and we would be having conversations about his personal life.
We would
by
be.
this point,
We
and
would be.
and that would be no fun.
Yep,
that's true.
No fun.
So the season is a no-win proposition.
Less fun. Well,
Good
yeah.
perspective because this is dumb and it's been
This is
it's
dumb,
been-
but it's not
been-
as dumb as it could have
It's
been.
not as dumb as it could have been. Yeah. It's been a dumb 65 days.
But it could have been smarter.
And it will be a dumb next 10 or 14 or whatever it is. But then it'll be less dumb after that.
We were talking, so
We hope so.
behind the curtain, we've been planning, obviously, like, okay, what are we going to do with the station? And, you know,
What you do?
when it's going to be announced. And we were talking today about like doomsday scenarios of what if it doesn't happen actually by date here? So here's my question for you. What's the date that we pass And if you need me to open the calendar.
I got one.
Okay. What's the date where people totally start freaking out? Because November 24th, that's Thanksgiving. They play on the 25th.
Yep.
Saturday the 26th, Sunday the 27th. That next week, it would seem to be the week where people would start losing their minds, right?
Correct.
Is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or would you even say Thursday or Friday? At
No,
what point that week?
it's later in the week. It's like it's the week. If it gets to the weekend, if it gets to December 3rd.
You think it would? Wow, I feel like if it got to Wednesday and we didn't know anything, that people would lose their minds.
You mean like where we're at right now, or not have an announcement?
Not have an announcement. They better have an announcement by November 30th.
No, because what
if they're not coaching in the conference championship game?
What if their coach, like,
lay out the coaches? None of them are coaching that weekend.
Not in the conference championship weekend, but let's say they hire a coach who is coaching Black Friday weekend, the Saturday, and it takes a couple days to put together. I mean, they might not have that done until Thursday.
But the problem is you've had 70 by
and
that
Lincoln
point.
Riley coached and then was the new coach the next day.
Next day.
Exactly. That's why I say if it's not done by November 30th, this place is
if
going to
it's
explode.
not done by the next weekend, they're hiring Jeff Munkin because then he's got to coach the Army-Navy game.
Honkin' for Munkin.
No, hunkin' for Munkin.
Hunkin' for Munkin. Honkin' for Monkin.
Honkin'
for Monkin.
Shafe is on. We'll talk about this with him. Honkin'. Because he's the one who introduced that phrase into my life. Honkin' for Monkin.
He said that?
He tweets it all the time. He tweets it all the time. Honkin' for Monkin. Wow, so where are you at? Which date? You think November 30th, or are you with Happer? And it's honestly, if they don't have it by Tuesday, I think people would be like, what is happening?
I've said if you don't have something done by the end of conference championship weekend, then it's time to press the panic.
So you're with
him. Yeah, they're in the same page.
Yeah. Now that's not to say that every day of that week, starting with
won't
the
be
30th,
living hell.
won't see an incremental increase in the what's going on, why isn't this happening? But as far as like actually pressing the panic button, and hopefully it works better than the on switch over here.
Nick will have to press the panic button for us.
If we haven't heard something by conference championship, the end of conference championship weekend, then yes, this is when you need to send up the Steve Peterson emergency road flares.
Oh boy.
That would be going into,
because that would look awful.
So we'd be going into,
unless you're hiring Nick Saban,
like into the mid 80s in days.
Yeah. And what the Steve Peterson
40
calendar
days.
was 41.
41.
So if you get to
66, order 66.
So
you know what that means?
Well, I mean, 16 days away would be conference championship weekend. That's how you double it. It should get to that weekend. God, I hope it doesn't.
Do we make it to day 80? That was what we mentioned that yesterday.
Yeah, we need to put this on the list. We need to all predict what
Is
day.
the X.
What day?
Sorry, the list right
you
here.
have it up there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what do you have?
New coach press release.
Oh,
so
yeah,
this is
you guys
press
did
release.
this a long time ago.
Yeah, you could add it.
Yeah,
just add.
Yeah, I got to figure out.
My original guess was the Thursday, the 1st at 2 p.m. It's a little late.
Mm-hmm. That'd be a little late.
John, you look close to that?
I say the Monday after the Iowa game.
So that
Josh said the same thing. And then we got Robin and Brunts on this, and they both said the Sunday.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say the Sunday. I'm going to say the Sunday.
You think right away? Quick.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen pretty fast. I think it might leak on Saturday, and then it comes out officially on Sunday.
Okay. All right, we'll write them on the board.
Can't wait.
Before we,
John doesn't care, but can't wait.
Before we get this.
Well, I mean, it's gonna happen.
No, John, I'm with you. I know you're.
It's just,
yeah,
but
yeah.
At this point,
this is just
at
annoying.
this point, just
yeah.
hire somebody.
Yeah, it's just annoying. Yeah.
I mean, Charlotte, and by the way,
CLT.
My heartfelt concern for all the athletes at Charlotte who
Biff Poggi,
who found out that who their head coach is with 2 weeks left in the season. How Charlotte could be so insensitive to those players by announcing it. I mean, that's just it's incomprehensible what they did at Charlotte. They had to shutter the program.
They really could hire a coach now if they wanted to, unless he's coaching.
Don't look at Garrett Nelson and tell him that this season doesn't matter. I hope he doesn't think that way.
Garrett Nelson doesn't think the season matters. He's coming back for another season.
You know, the funny thing is the season's going to happen whether
Run
you
it back.
have
That was my Steve Sipple impersonation.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Remember, Garrett Nelson also.
He's the only
Steve
person
Sipple
that's like
thinks his
also
target
seemed
audience
like
is
he-
truck drivers from New Mexico.
We also all wondered if Garrett Nelson was going to
Nelson
still
Garrett.
be in a
That's
good
really
mind
good.
space after Frost got fired because we thought
That's true that he was a
And-
sycophant.
seemed like he was fine.
That's true. He's throwing the bone still.
He's still throwing the bones and doing the sack dance and
Zach says
playing hard.
Husker fans are going to lose their mind when Trev waits until after the playoff to announce Jim Harbaugh as the next head coach.
Day 120.
It'll be the first week of the spring game.
Oh,
that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious.
120 days.
All right. Well, there we go. And that's the start of day 66.
Woo.
Day 66.
All right, busy show
like the
today.
majority
What do we got?
Including we're gonna lay down poker chips on who
I don't
we
know the
think-
rules of poker.
You just
Well,
got to know when to hold them.
You don't have to know the rules of
Know when
poker.
to fold them.
You don't have to know the
when
rules
to
of
walk
poker.
away.
I don't know how to play poker.
Know when to run.
Well, we're just
Cash your
using
money
the chips.
sitting at the table.
It's like blackjack. They use the same chips.
Okay. I know.
The green chips, the red chips.
I know
the
about
blue chips.
blackjack. I don't know when to hit. I don't really play blackjack.
Don't go over
I
21.
can tell you about craps, though.
I love blackjack.
Craps is awesome.
You don't know about 21? You don't know.
No,
about
I know.
blackjack?
I just don't know when and when not to hit. Some people, what's the number? Like
Base it off of vibes.
16. Don't people
Usually-
get mad at
usually-
16
usually
or
16.
Or has.
No,
Right,
yeah.
And how good you are at
But
counting
there's some
cards.
numbers that,
You're not supposed to do that, John.
that people, it's just frowned
Yeah,
upon.
well, at the table, if
Like
you
on
know,
an
other-
airplane.
other people, you're affecting other people's
Yeah,
cards.
That's
when
why I
you
don't play because I don't
do
want
the
to
right
I
thing.
don't want to get yelled at. I don't want to get yelled at. I know
Don't
the
be
rules
scared.
of craps.
There's so many drunk people who go to casinos.
yeah, but you know, there's the one guy who's sitting there like, "This is my whole paycheck." And I'm like, "Well, that's your problem.
That's
bro."
your problem.
Yeah, you're playing at the $5 blackjack table with Josh.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah.
All right, we'll
We're
come
gonna play
back
poker.
and play poker on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A mixture of sun and clouds is what they expect throughout the afternoon. Temperatures only budging into the upper 20s and lower 30s. In Omaha, I'm tracking an afternoon high of 29 degrees. For tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Small chance of flurries, especially after midnight. Continuing for your daybreak hours for Thursday. By the afternoon, I'm tracking a high temperature of 30 degrees for your Thursday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KTV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Fall is in full swing, and that means there's a lot of great events coming up all over the area. From the Huskers in football or basketball, the concerts, holiday shows, there's so much to check out. And when you need tickets, be sure to check out my friends at ticketsforless.com. You want to go see the Huskers in Memorial Stadium or the Chiefs at Arrowhead or maybe that big show at CHI Health Center, Tickets for Less has you covered. So save on your next order at ticketsforless.com. When you use the code THEZONE, go to ticketsforless.com. Find the seats that you want to the events you want to be at. Use the promo code ZONE. Good on any ticket purchase at ticketsforless.com.
Cool air temperatures mixed with warm soil temperatures means it's time to plant. Visit Lanahaas Garden Center for the Metro's largest selection of homegrown trees and plants. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanahaas Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
If you're like most Americans, you can see things are out of control. Global problems have local consequences, too many of them. And if the next news headline spins us into chaos, you'd better be ready. Grocery store supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. Don't wait for them to break. Today's the day to secure emergency food for everyone in your family. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company. Our specially packaged and delicious food stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. It'll be there when you need it. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and pick up several emergency food kits. There are a dozen different sizes that average over 2,000 calories per day. As we all know, calories equals energy equals survival. And as you'd expect from a true preparedness company, our food kits are in stock and ship quickly. Those who know what's coming are preparing today. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, by DJ's Dugout, and by McDowell Law. Before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is 5 $10 vouchers for just $25 to Stories Coffee Company. Stories offers teas, smoothies, breakfast, lunch, heavy appetizers, craft beers, and wine. Oh, and they have live music select evenings. 114th and Dodge, Gretna, and coming soon to Midtown Crossing. Stories Coffee Company. This week's half-off deal.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com. This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
Does the mic? Oh, he turned it on. See, now Nick, now I'm back in. Now.
Wow.
Held hostage by Nick.
Is this what he's going to do the whole day? This is going to be the new bit? He's going to turn off our
dumb
mics?
jokes.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
Well, come to Dumb Debates Wednesday here on the program.
Hello!
Great to have you with us on day 66.
It's already here.
It's already here.
Oh, it's been here.
Right there.
It's been here. Coaching search that will never end.
No.
And the rumors that will either get started, not start, or never be started. But, I mean, think about it. We're only 9 days and 4 hours. 9 days and, well, we'll be safe. 9 days and 4.5 hours from the end of the Husker football season.
Don't say, Dad, now you're going to make me sad.
How in the world would that make you sad?
I mean, look, as much as they suck, you know how it's always still AM radio?
Just the end of the
still
Husker football
Husker
season.
football.
Josh, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.
The memories.
Yes. Smile because it happened.
The
Hey,
best
man,
part about memories is making
I got
them.
to meet Noah Eagle this year because of football season. That was pretty cool. I met Mark Helfrich.
Well, yeah, but you already met them. You're not going to meet them anymore.
I know, but it's just like without Husker football, I wouldn't have met those guys.
Well, but you met them already, so it's not
They were
like you're
very
going to meet them
nice.
again.
They're very nice people.
I'm sure they're great.
I've had fun on Overreaction.
No, you haven't.
I mean, I like working with Ravi. That was fun.
Well,
You just like the Popeyes.
I did like the Popeyes. That was nice. And I'm at Popeyes again this Saturday.
Having to leave at the start of the second quarter just to get
That's
here in
not,
time.
yeah, that's what I hate now. I don't live close anymore. I used to be able to leave with a couple minutes away.
So again,
Popeyes takes
9
forever to go.
days or 9 days and 4.5 hours, and
then it's over.
And then it's over.
It's already here. And then the football will be done. But you know what that means?
No, the football's got still has
reading again.
3.5 months left.
Basketball,
Reading.
Josh, the
Or
NBA.
2.5
Started
months.
a new book last night, actually. I was
Hockey.
a little tired, but not too tired. Quentin Tarantino has a new book out. I was reading some of QT's book. It was very
QT has a book?
Yeah,
He writes
this is his
books?
second. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's his second book.
Oh.
It's good. It's about movies. Who knew? Quentin Tarantino, fan of movies.
It's a movie book.
Talked about how he went to all these movies when he was like a 7 and 8, 9-year-old. It was great. Going with his mom and his stepdad. Very interesting stuff. There you go. So that's what I'll do. Read. Jeff texts in.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, appreciate the show. Thank you, Jeff. Two things. Big announcements have often come on Sunday after a game, but the Iowa game is on Friday. I say Saturday, November 26th is the announcement. Two, it's easy to say now Trev should have pulled the trigger last year and we wouldn't be in a 65-day wait. 66. But remember the narrative a year ago. We were supposedly this close to turning the corner. All those one-score losses. It would have been a very divided Husker Nation. By waiting, everyone now agrees Frost had to go. Extra patience was needed before killing the favorite son. My God. Good work, Trev. Yeah, but I'll push back on you, Jeff, and say now everyone's just going to be split on who the hire is.
Exactly.
Also, and if you thought that Frost should have gotten an extra year, you're wrong. And you need to admit that you were wrong. You need to apologize to John and me for yelling at us. Apologize right now.
Exactly.
No, because I would say apologize to
4
me.
years was enough to
John
identify that he was a bad coach and the worst coach in Nebraska football history. But we all know, now that there were enough influential people with dollars that weren't convinced of that. And that's why the decision waited until they had the money to clear. And then all of a sudden it was like, you know what? We're not even going to wait the extra 2 weeks. We're letting you go early and you're out of here. And we haven't seen hide nor hair of him since, which is.
Well, I saw a picture.
Yeah.
No, two pictures. There was the one at Arizona State, and then there was the one at the golf course the day he got fired. I saw those pictures.
Yeah. Well, coming up, we're gonna lay down some poker chips on who we think the next coach.
You got to teach me the rules. So
We're
Texas
not-
Hold'em
we're-
versus
no.
two-card Monty?
We're not playing poker. We're just using the chips as a metaphorical symbol of the exercise.
Not scared.
But we're not playing poker.
Okay, good.
Though,
What
if you want to make coaching searches more interesting, put all your candidates at a table and they play a game of Texas Hold'em, and the winner gets the job.
Televise it.
That would be. I would actually watch
Is the
televised
TV poker still a thing?
Oh yeah, my grandpa. I'll go visit him once in a while. He's got it on.
Yeah.
Hey, Sonny, get over.
They're all
here.
wearing
That would
sunglasses
be a way
inside,
to bring
like a
me
bunch of
back in
nerds.
because I watched the TV
At
poker
Damon
for
Benny.
like 3 months, and then I was out.
You got into it?
For
It
like
doesn't seem
3
like
months.
something you'd get into.
It was interesting. It was
Doesn't
fascinating.
sound like you. You still haven't watched Andor, but you watched that.
I watched the second episode of Andor. I hope it picks up. I'm a little disappointed.
That's what everybody. I thought the start of it was great.
But
But
two
look,
episodes in, I'm like,
But John, I will say this: there's a lot of people that are all aboard the Andor train right now that were like, it started slow and then it got awesome. So I liked it from the
that's
start.
what I'm saying. It's just I'm
Don't
just
worry.
2 in.
You're
I'm just 2 episodes in.
Because everyone said that people that didn't like the first few, it was 3, and then 4 and beyond is when they felt like love that. I think Severe might be one of these
Well,
people.
we'll find out. I'll find out. I will.
In like
I
4
will
months when you finally finish the damn show. What's up with you, tattoo boy?
I just haven't yet.
Good Lord, disgusting.
The more you talk about it, the more I don't want to, just
See,
for the bit.
I had a
honestly.
friend
It's
like
kinda
that
fun.
who wouldn't watch Breaking Bad because I said it was really good, and I'm like, okay, well, you're an idiot.
Well, no, it's not because you're saying it's good. It's just because you keep bringing it up, and it's kind
I
of.
want to talk about it with you, Nick. I have no one else to talk about it
Well,
with,
if you want to
except for a
talk
few people
about
on Twitter.
Andor with Josh, 402-951-1620.
Text us, yeah.
Well, yeah, and only text because Josh is the only one that looks at the text message. So you can text him.
Yeah, Alex and Lincoln just
402-951-1620.
apologized to us. He says, "I'm sorry, Josh and John." There you go. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Alex. We appreciate it. So yeah, if Josh, you want to text Josh on the Les Hills Harley Davidson hotline,
You text me
because
Text
that
me
won't
your-
spoil us.
Text me your Andor takes.
Andor what?
If you want to email Josh your Andor takes, Josh at 1620thezone.com. Don't email your Andor takes to me because they won't make sense yet. John at 1620thezone.com, Equitable Bank inbox, and the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC 1620.
Awesome.
We're going to hear from Whips too.
Oh, what shade did he throw towards Mickey Joseph today? Find out soon.
I don't think there was any shade.
Oh,
I don't think there was any
sunny
shade.
day.
It
Oh,
is.
the sun is out.
The sun is out today.
How about that?
The sun is out today.
Wow.
Tickets on sale now for the hottest event in town, Blue Collar Boxing, Liberty First Credit Union Arena. It's coming up in 7 days.
7.
Listen to Gary to win a pair of tickets to the
Gary?
event and check out all the information at 1620thezone.com.
After Nebraska plays on Saturday, you'll wake up on Sunday morning with a severe reaction. Michael Severe returns to 1620 The Zone, and he won't hold back about what went right and what went wrong during the game. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours, Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, only on 1620 The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, by DJ's Dugout, and by McGow Law. Before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
Caller 4 right now, 402-951-1620. Qualifies for 1620 The Zone's four-quarter pick'em. It's your chance to pick 4 football games correctly against the spread to win $1,620. Call 402-951-1620. Call now to qualify with 1620 The Zone.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/enjoy. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/enjoy. That's BARTESIAN.com/enjoy for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/enjoy.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Severe from Severe Reaction. You know holidays are right around the corner. Are you stocked up for all your party needs? Well, you know where to go. Rotella's Italian Bakery. They have you covered. Whether it's a tailgate party, a fall party, a Thanksgiving party, whatever it is, you're going to be ready to go because it's 100 years of tradition getting you ready for all the great breads you need. Stop by the bakery at 108th and Harrison or any of your local stores, whether it's hot dogs, hamburgers, or brats, they have you covered. Again, stop by the bakery at 108th and Harrison and find us at the nearest grocery store. Rotella's Italian Bread, over 100 years of tradition.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction. Presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More. Join the show immediately after the game and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction on 1019 The Keg and 1620 The Zone.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code KIND at checkout. That's harrys.com, code KIND. Enjoy.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
The 1620, The Zone.
You know them, Mike.
Doesn't work when the button doesn't work.
Sad.
We're also asking you, I did put up a question on said JTech Construction Zone Twitter page.
Typical Bob Bishop.
If you had $100 in poker chips, and each chip is worth $10, so you have 10 total chips, how would you bet on who is the next coach of the Huskers? You can put it down on as many candidates as you like, but you can't split the 10, so it'd be 10 candidates total. But if you want to put them all on one candidate or a couple on one guy and 3 on another guy and 1 or 2 on another, however you want to do it, we're gonna have our own analysis of said poker chips coming up.
Awesome.
And we'll hear from
Whips.
Whips
What
today.
about Bush?
Whips.
No Bush.
No
We're
Bush.
out on Bush. No
No,
Bush,
no.
folks. It's
You know
like
what?
the '90s all over again. Bush suddenly gone.
I have no comment. I have no comment.
I got a text message into the.
I don't want any Andor spoilers.
There actually was a couple of people that texted saying they really like Andor. So there you go.
Good.
This is from Adam, though. Says the one thing no one is really talking about in this coaching search is that the candidate pool sucks. No hot and up-and-coming coaches, no home runs, etc. All the big names moved around last year. I think that's why people are antsy. No home run hires out there. Trev is going to have to sell whoever he hires. You've been hitting on the latter point. Is that why we're frustrated? Because there's no one good? They all suck?
Well, see,
we're not honking for monking?
You know what?
This is not good.
That's part of the problem.
Bingo.
That is part of the problem is not only
right there
has this seller's market warped the value of college coaches and gets people like Mel Tucker paid $10 million a year after having one good year.
Yep.
But it's also limited the ability of some of those, quote, hot coaches to move because now they're hooked up to longer, more expensive deals. And there's also this perception that all the good ones were taken. And that is part of the issue here is and another reason why this elongated process that happened in the season has warped people's minds. We literally starting with the first week of this thing. Matt Campbell lost. He's out.
Yep.
Dave Aranda lost. He's out. Kansas lost. That means Leipold's out. And we're always caught up in this, what have you done for me this nanosecond? Versus looking at it from a bigger picture and realizing that, you know what? Sometimes good coaches have seasons. And you have to look at the entirety of their body of work. And you can't just look at it in the moment. And unfortunately, that was one of the things that got everyone caught up in Scott Frost. Scott Frost hit the Nebraska market at the perfect time.
Perfect time.
Because his team went undefeated. Now, would he have been able to keep it going? We have no idea. But it warped the view that a lot of people had about what Scott Frost's value is. And it's not just a Frost thing. I don't want to make it sound like I'm just picking on him, the worst coach in Nebraska football history. But it's happened with others as well. Tom Herman.
Tom he was Herman. A Comet.
Oh, he
can't miss.
He's a can't miss. He's Haley's Comet. Oh, you better grab it now or else he's going to be gone and won't see him for another 70 years. And that didn't work out. So the plus side, theoretical plus side to the elongated coaching search is that if Trev is doing his due diligence, he can really dive in and look at it from a big picture and not just fall prey to, well, this is the next hot guy. I better grab him now because this fishy's gone. But the drawback to it as well is from a public perception standpoint, it has lessened the value of some really good coaches. The worst thing that happened to all of these coaches, the worst thing that happened to this coaching search was that it happened during the season. If this were the same length, let's say this, and I know it's not going to happen this way, but because all of these coaches are active right now and they're all coaching this minute, we can judge them on a week-to-week, game-to-game basis. But if this were happening when there wasn't any games going on, then people would actually have to step back and look at the body of the resume because there's nothing in the moment to react to.
It's a great point. It's a great point. And you know what?
And so while the elongated search can allow you to do a lot more due diligence from a public perception standpoint, it can be a disaster because it weakens the perceived value of what might otherwise be really good candidates.
And so you know what? Maybe that is, and look, I'm going to do a lot of heavy lifting here, but maybe in the end, this is actually a positive because there's not a slam dunk hire. I don't know if I even agree with myself when I say that, but given that all of these candidates do have quite a few warts, like you go through the list that's showing up right now. Matt Rule, people are picking him apart. Jeff Monken, we can pick him apart. Gary Patterson, we can pick him apart. Mickey Joseph, we can pick him apart. All these guys. Even, Chris Peterson's name showed up on a few things here and there. Even Chris Peterson, who I had as my number one for years, even though Bo wasn't getting fired. I pointed at warts of his right now, and that's maybe he was burned out at Washington. He got out of the game. He's been on TV the last few years. How would he handle name, image, likeness? If Chris Peterson has warts, I mean, it just shows you how tough of a market it is at this moment in time, unless there is some just really cool surprise hire that none of us see coming, and I don't think,
again, that's the problem is
I don't
the
think that's
longer we
happen.
have to look at it, the more warts we can find. We tend to find more warts in people after a long period of analysis than we do find positives. And so that's why you hope, if you're a Husker fan, you are hoping that Trev Alberts is shutting out that type of noise and using this search to look at the bigger picture and not falling prey to, well, this guy doesn't have any momentum right now because he's lost 2 out of his last 3.
Noted Wisconsin fan Kyle says the hottest of the coaches last year was no one knew were available, Kelly and Riley. I don't understand the just name a coach now crowd like John. You want a great coach you got to wait for them to become available. You're not in the just announce him now. You just want the thing to end.
I just want it to be over.
Yeah, you're not. Please,
that's all.
Please hire somebody today. You just want this thing to be done.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kyle, you're misunderstanding John's point of view. He's just tired.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
I think a lot of us are tired.
I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know who would enjoy 60 days of this garbage.
Yeah,
66.
Yeah.
So it has its advantages, but it also has a lot of drawbacks. And I do wonder if the next coach is going to be met with a lot more meh or pushback because of the length of the time.
Well, the thing that I wonder about is it a name that, I just named like 5 or 6 guys, is it on that list? Is it on the list of 16 we put together on Monday? Because if it's one of those 16, there will be pushback on any of them. I don't know of all the ones that we named. And I guess we kind of did another exercise with this yesterday. Even Lane Kiffin, let's pretend it was Lane Kiffin. Even he would have detractors because I've seen detractors, of his.
Do you think this has the potential to be the most underwhelming coaching hire or announcement, at least in the history of the program?
Yes. Yeah, because I just some of the names that we've mentioned. Like, for example, if it's Monken, I think that would be met with some of us would honk for Monk, but that would be met with a pretty large thud. If it was him. That said, Mike Riley was, that was a pretty special day of what the F.
Right.
I think Jason Peter literally almost said that on the air. I think he almost said the F word.
He almost did.
Yeah, indeed.
Because I was listening at that time and I was like, what? What?
Dave says, stop treating this coaching search like the NCAA basketball tournament. While the mental image is funny, I guarantee Trev Alberts does not have a 32-coach bracket in his office that he updates after the weekend's wins and losses.
Unless he does.
What if he did? Matt Campbell lost.
What if he did?
Cross off
Of
his
course
name.
he doesn't.
Canceled.
Of course he doesn't, but the problem is a lot of people in the public do.
Mm-hmm.
and have looked at it that way.
He has all the potential hires play the golden tee, and if they can beat Frost's high score, because it's an investment.
Do they actually want them to be the worst at golden tee? Because then that means they don't have hobbies.
That means they don't have
all right,
hobbies.
What if that's what he did? All right, we're all going to golf, and whoever's the worst, you're the guy.
We obviously know you're the guy.
Oh, man, Matt Rule just sent it into the woods again. Damn it, Matt.
Looks like you get the job.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
All right, we're going to hear from Whips and have more when we continue on Unsportsmanlike Conduct and 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everyone. Josh and John here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. Tomorrow night, John, we have Thursday night football, and the team that beat my team is playing. The Green Bay Packers are playing against the Tennessee Titans, and we are already somehow to Week 11. You can start off Week 11 tomorrow with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. What does that mean? You get free bets back if your Thursday night same-game parlay does not win. Maybe you like Derrick Henry on the over rushing yards. Maybe, an anytime touchdown from him in there as well. And given the number of points that their games have included, and maybe that Green Bay scored a little too many on Sunday versus Dallas, you throw in the under as well. And you can take advantage of that no sweat same game parlay free bets back if your Thursday night same game parlay doesn't hit with the promo code 1620.
And the Packers ran for more yards than they have all season. Will they continue to try to do that same strategy? If you believe in that, then maybe you take a look at some of the Green Bay rushing totals and props that are available right now on FanDuel. Plus, you can parlay that with the result of the game and win even bigger. And when you bet the NFL on Thursday night, it's a no-sweat, same-game parlay. Just sign up with promo code 1620 if you already don't have an account. But if you have a FanDuel account, you're set. Sign in to see what you have. 21 plus in present in Iowa, 3+ legs, minimum $1 bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
When it comes to cement fiber siding, you want durability, hail and chip resistance, and beauty. You want James Hardy cement fiber siding. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor. Call Carp's today or visit carpsomaha.com.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Dust. It's in the living room, the bedroom, and the bathroom. It's also in your lungs. Let's fix that, shall we? Duck Defense Midwest offers a comprehensive system that cleans, disinfects, filters, and purifies the air. They'll make your home healthier and improve the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com right now for a special air duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. cleanairradio.com.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, by DJ's Dugout, and by McGow Law. Before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Last year's 42 Degrees Veterans Day promotion was a huge success. Besides the thousands of dollars of food and toiletries donated, 42 Degrees wrote a check for $2,000 to the Veterans Food Pantry. So help a veteran and help yourself to an extra discount. 5% for 2 items, 10% for 4 items, or 15% for 6 items. So let's show support to our veterans in 2022 and make this Veterans Day even better. 42 Degrees, your source for CBDs, Kratom, and Delta products. By your mom's house.
Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We are rapidly growing and adding new customers, which means we need new route drivers and service technicians. We have new jobs for those new to the industry with little or no experience, and new careers that require knowledge in the coffee and vending world. There's a good chance we have just what you need in a new job. Host Coffee offers competitive pay and understands the work-life balance. Apply today at hostcoffee.net/careers and join our team.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Another text just came in from Adam. Andor is incredible.
Again, I hope you're right. First two, I'm just kind of sleepy on.
I bet I know how this guy feels.
I'm gonna watch it eventually.
Yeah.
And I just realized that there's been a new season of Cobra Kai out, and I just watched the first one last night.
You watched that before Andor?
Well, it's 30 minutes.
He's a
Andor's
child
like 35.
of the 80s, Josh.
What?
Andor's like 35 to 40 minutes.
I thought it was closer to an hour. I thought they're closer to an hour.
Well, there's like 7 minutes of credits at the end in all the languages ever. Seriously, there's like when you open the episode on Disney Plus, just chop off 7 minutes from the runtime because there's that many credits. Ask this guy. I don't even care about the coaching search. Let's ask this guy about Andor.
The host of Severe Hangover Overreaction.
Nice.
Or Severe Reaction.
Severe at Church.
Severe at Church. That's what it should have been.
The Church of Severe.
The Church of Severe.
Nice.
That name's never been used before.
Uh-huh.
The one that doesn't work is Severe Hangover. I don't even remember what those are like. I haven't had a hangover in 2 decades. I have no idea what that's like.
Yeah, you know what? I'm almost there with you.
Dang, that's crazy.
I just don't.
John, I've never
Michael
seen
doesn't
John
drink at all
inebriated.
anymore.
No,
and
you always
even
have to drive.
Even in the times that I've been buzzed, I never felt it the next day.
Wow.
So it wasn't.
Andor is incredible, John. Andor is as good a TV for Star Wars as we've ever had.
But did it start slow for you?
And then in terms of the movies, it's probably ranked 3rd best movie so far.
Okay, but did it start slow for you? Because I'm through 2 episodes and I think it's slow.
I thought the first 2 episodes, I wouldn't call them slow. I think about this all the time. When you have to introduce a whole bunch of characters and places, exposition always takes a while. I actually love exposition. It's my favorite thing. And so it didn't bother me. But I'll tell you this, when it gets to episode 6, watch yourself, because your blood pressure is going to go up.
Watch yourself.
You're going to be leaning into the TV. It is incredible television from episode 5 on, but 6. The last one, 10, was incredible. It's so good.
10 was nuts.
Yeah, I'll get there. I will get there. I promise. I'm not going to give up. I'm not giving up on it.
All right. So I was thinking about this on Sunday on the Church of Severe, and I was like, how come
Severe Synagogue? Can we do Severe Synagogue?
Hey, man, I don't think I'm allowed to go in there. Right? You can't go in a temple unless you're Jewish, isn't that right?
Oh, I don't know what the rules are.
Yeah. I think that's right. I know you can't go into a Mormon church if you're not Mormon. I don't think you can go in a synagogue unless you're actually Jewish. I don't know. I could be wrong. Let me call Mike Sigmund. But let me ask you this. Why aren't we talking about assistant coaches at all? Because I was looking at the top 25. I looked at the top 16. And there's a lot of good coaches who are assistants or coordinators.
That's a great point.
That weren't head coaches in the past. Why are we talking about them? Because maybe he's got a a coordinator for a really good team that he's thinking about, waiting for them to finish their season. That's certainly a possibility.
It's funny because you're right. Even from the very beginning, even when we did our tournament, we kind of struggled to come up with 8 assistants. And of course, one that was on the list, but it was right before they fired Christ.
Yeah,
was Jim Leonard.
Yeah,
but now Jim Leonard is pretty much the chosen one for Wisconsin. But it's a great point because usually there's always a couple 3 of these coordinators that are like, man, this is the next dude. This is the next dude. And we're not hearing anything about that. So
I was going through the list, the top 16 teams on Sunday, and it's about half that were a coordinator or an assistant when they took over. I mean, Oregon's a big enough school where they could have gotten a sitting head coach if they wanted to, I think. But I mean, even Georgia, obviously Notre Dame, we talk a lot about. You could even say Cincinnati in a way because he was an interim head coach at Ohio State. But I mean, a lot of these guys, of course, Clemson. I had a friend that called me. He said, Mickey's the black deep Dabo. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking? I was like, oh.
Wide receiver coach. Yep.
Right. And nobody's ever, he's really their one, right? He's the one guy who there was a lot of excitement about because he did well his first year that they hired that actually worked because the majority of those guys don't work. And so that's why I always thought that Mickey wasn't going to be the guy. But anyway, I don't know why we don't talk more about assistants because maybe that's it. Maybe he found a younger coordinator who he thinks could come in here and build off the example of all these other teams that have done it.
So, Michael, we had Dirk on last Friday, and he told us the story of that 64, coach bracket. You participated in it. We did we did an abbreviated version with Jack Mitchell on Monday where we picked 16 names. If you were to mentally put together your top 16 that you think it would be, do you think that the name does come off the list? Like, do you think we're going to be surprised again, and maybe it is like a coordinator or a home run that we just don't know?
Let me tell you this. I'll never be as surprised in my life as I was when Mike Riley was named. I was actually at my son's doctor. We were in he was getting his hearing aids fixed. And this is a young woman who's probably in her early 30s. And I get the email from a friend who said, hey, they're getting ready to make the announcement. Check your email. And so I'm checking, I'm updating it. Name pops up. I say the name to her. Again, mid-30s maybe. Still an audiologist to this day. And she says, what the? Like she audibly says it, right? Because she was like, Mike Riley? What? So, yeah, I'll never be that shocked in my life. I think if you gave me 16 names.
16 names.
Do I get NFL names too?
Yeah, you just give us the 16 most likely that you think.
The 16 most likely.
Yeah, I think if out of the 16, it's one of them.
Who's your NFL name?
Of the 16, I still believe this. I said this to Josh weeks ago. I still think about 8 to 10 of those names, the majority of people will be excited about. I think the majority of these names, despite what's happened this season with some losing, I think the majority of these names, the majority of the fan base will get behind and quickly. Not slowly, but quickly.
You think there's an NFL guy that we're not talking about?
I think there's a possibility. That's the thing. It's funny because, as much we talk about Matt Rule and what he did at Temple and what he did at Baylor, there's some really good top assistants in the NFL. And there's some guys that, you could maybe see come back that aren't enjoying the pro experience. I wouldn't be surprised because Trev does have contacts. He knows people. So I wouldn't be surprised. But if you get, I probably put maybe two names out of the NFL on there, maybe. And then the rest of them would be college. And I don't think I would put any assistants, but I don't know them. I don't know who is the coordinator because the Georgia top coordinator left.
Dan Lanning,
Oregon, right?
Yeah.
Alabama loses their top guy every year. Would it be Bill O'Brien? Certainly a possibility, but that's the only assistant I've ever heard talked about this season, really. So I don't know. I would hope so. I hope that we would be good enough as a group to come up with 16 names and at least hit one of them. Yeah. And by the way, it was 61 total names. I have the list somewhere in my email that we all sent to Sam, and we had everything. We had Division II coaches, we had NFL coaches, we had everybody, and nobody had Mike Riley.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts.
It's still crazy.
Well, Nebraska could still be honking for Monken.
That's true.
But Todd Monken.
Oh, God.
The offensive coordinator of Georgia.
Todd does have a connection here. Todd coached, let me remember this right. I think he coached tight ends at Jacksonville when
wide
Zach
receivers.
Potter,
Wide receivers.
but I think he coached Zach Potter when Zach moved from defense to tight end. And I believe they're very tight. So I'll send a text to Zach Potter and see if he knows if it's maybe Todd Monken that's coming.
You are right. He was on Jacksonville when Todd
2007
was
to 2010.
Wow, and Zach was there 09 to 12.
They're close friends.
So maybe we're honking for the wrong Monken.
For the wrong Monken.
Could you imagine though? And again, I love Army. I cheer for Army. Go Army, beat Navy.
Yep.
You know what? A guy who never had to deal with the transfer portal because it's impossible to do at Army. Don't have to worry about NIL because again, impossible to do at Army.
Right.
And you ask him to come in here and take over a job that's almost impossible. And the one advantage we have, he has no experience in. Again, not saying that Jeff couldn't be the guy. It's just so funny that he'd be so outside of what you're looking for nowadays.
Right.
With transfer portal and NIL.
Absolutely.
It's weird.
By the way, also, you know who else is a coordinator? And I just want this hire because I loved his name. But the offensive coordinator for your Rice Owls is Marcus Tuiasosopo.
Oh,
the old Washington quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Marcus
that'd be
Tuiasosopo.
awesome.
I would love that.
There you go. Make it happen, Trev.
Was he the quarterback in he wasn't the quarterback in 96, was it?
No, that was Brock Heward. He
No,
was the
he was the
quarterback of the
quarterback
Rose Bowl
in-
team.
In 2009 and 2010.
Oh, okay. Who was so Brock Heward was the quarterback?
Oh,
when
no,
they
no, no.
were
I'm sorry.
99.
In 96?
Brock Heward was the guy when Nebraska played him in 97 and 98.
Right.
And he always got hurt in those games.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
97,
misspoke.
Right.
But Tuiasosopo had to play against Nebraska in the 97 game.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
because
what I
Heward
thought.
got hurt.
Because
yeah.
there was, because Heward got hurt and Tuiasosopo as a freshman, he was a true freshman.
Right. That's what I remember them telling that story because that's the game where they discover the follow play that they had stole the week before from Central Florida. And they ran the follow play, and both Scott and I believe Makovica went over 100 yards rushing.
Yeah,
didn't they,
Scott
that
had
game?
multiple touchdowns in that game.
Yep.
Yeah,
on the
because
ground.
they ran that same play that Dante Culpepper ran the week before for Central Florida.
Yep.
Now, you know who's a pretty good coach? Tom House, by the way.
Yeah, what if they hired him?
Crazy. He's not really that old anymore compared to nowadays, you know?
He looks great.
What is he, 81, 85? What is
He's 85.
85? Yeah. Listen to this, and I'll let you go. The year he retired, I believe he's the same age as the first year Saban won a title at Alabama.
Well, he was
retired at 60, right?
He was 60 years old.
God, that is so
And
depressing.
And the first title was 11 years ago or so for
It was 2009,
Saban?
13 years ago.
Oh, for you. I thought they were the same age because obviously it was funny. He retired so early.
Yeah, and we were like,
Then
he's
it
so
was late.
old now.
But now it's not a big deal to be coaching to your 65, 70.
Nope.
Yeah.
Still be good.
It's a different era.
Much different era.
Fine.
Michael Severe. All right. Thanks, Michael.
Bye, Michael.
See you later, guys.
That was fun.
Yes,
That
it was.
a fun conversation. Basically, a little interview, a little mini interview. Fun. Sipple backed out
Kind
on
of
us.
taking Sip will be with us later.
Okay, he's still with us.
Sip is with us at 4:30, right? That we said? Yeah, 4:30. So we still have Sip. He'll just be a little bit later, Sip.
Brent says, I guarantee that one of the coaches on our hot board who won't be hired will have a bounce back season within the next 1 to 2 years, and some of the fan base will be up in arms. We didn't hire him. Matt Campbell, Randall, Leipold, Stoops, etc.
It could happen. Exactly. It could happen.
It could happen.
There's a really good chance of that, which is why, again, I say it's dangerous to just look at it in the exact moment because it changes. This is a tough sport.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen. I mean, look at how Texas A&M went belly up this year. Look at how Kansas rose. Heck, next year, who knows? Maybe Jimbo's got them going again because they are a pretty young team. And who's to say that Kansas doesn't fall back?
Folks,
it's always a fluctuating thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I said we were going to do some poker chips.
Yep.
So we have 10 poker chips, $10 each. It's $100 total. We're going to put them on candidates.
Yep.
Here is.
Are we doing this right now?
Well, yeah, we can.
Okay.
Because we got Mitch coming up. So here's what Josh has.
God, this means Patterson. Man, oh, Lord. I didn't even, because I just kind of wrote
You
this
have
out.
3 chips on your guy, Gary Patterson.
I didn't even mean to do that.
You have 3 chips
you
on
really
Gary
don't know how to
Patterson.
play poker.
You are now most confident on Gary Patterson.
I'm not. This is an accident. I don't mean to be the
Doesn't
most.
look like an accident to me.
I know, but I made some alterations.
I see 3. I see
I
Patterson.
don't alter the poker chips any
So you got 3 on Patterson. You got
Gosh
2 on Doran. You got 2 on. You only have 1 on Matt Rule.
Only have 1 on Matt Rule.
And 1 on Bill O'Brien.
Yeah,
the same amount as you have on Joseph.
You know, there's been no noise on Bill O'Brien. I asked somebody about him earlier today. There's been no noise on him at all over the last however many months, a billion months. This is a huge. You screwed me.
I thought you'd be
I'm not
honking,
giving
Josh.
3 chips to Patterson.
I didn't. I asked you. You told
This
me.
is an
and
accident.
This is it.
I know. I made alterations. And
Only
it's an accident.
honking twice.
Yeah,
Sad.
only honk. Boiler up. Honk.
It's gonna be so awesome when they do bring in Gary Patterson, and he is going to wrap his big manly, dad forearms around NIL and transfer portal and player rights and all this hand wringing about he doesn't like modern athletes, he hates us, and he's gonna prove everyone wrong.
Gary?
Yep.
Gary?
Yep.
Gary? He'll suck.
Here's my poker chips.
I like how they're not straight. I think that's a good job with your poker chips.
I got 4 on O'Brien.
I've got what?
I got 4 on
On
O'Brien.
him being the guy?
Yeah.
But no one said anything about him. Is it gonna be him?
I mean, right now.
Okay. What about Rule? Only 1 on Rule? Only 1 on Joseph?
I'm not feeling the Matt
You're
Rule
not-
love right now.
Okay, honking for monking. You're not mulin for ruling?
I feel more comfortable with
I don't
Bill
know, Nick.
O'Brien right now because he would be available right away. As soon as the Iron Bowl's done,
It's always the quiet ones.
they ain't
Josh.
playing a conference championship game. He's got the experience. He's got the Big Ten experience. He's seasoned. He knows his lines. I mean, right now, again, this is who else am I going to put him on? I'm not going to be like you and mortgage my life on Gary Patterson.
You have more on O'Brien than I have on Gary.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to be like you and mortgage my life on Gary Patterson.
I don't want to mortgage no life on Gary Patterson.
Well, you did.
You're mortgaging a bad life.
I saw 3 chips there,
You
Josh.
put almost a third of your chips on
You
him.
have 4. You 40%.
Yeah.
That's more than 30%.
Yeah. But again, where else am I going to put him?
I don't know, Monken.
Mickey's a fallback candidate. I'm
Gary, what about
losing
Gary?
confidence in Rule.
I figure you'd be a big Gary guy.
I don't think it's going to be Patterson as much as I think it's going to be O'Brien. That's where I'm going right now.
Okay.
Well, you can participate as well. Send us your tweets. JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC1620. You had $10 poker chips.
Someone just said they want to play poker with me. Absolutely not, Brandon. Absolutely not.
We're not playing poker. We're just putting the chips on the different candidates.
We could have done pieces of pie. And then I wouldn't have been as confused. And
yeah, but
Gary
you don't
would have
like
ended up
pie
with 3.
because you're afraid of warm fruit.
Could have done 10 pieces of delicious Popeye's chicken.
Well, yeah, but then the pieces are so small, you wouldn't be able to see it in the graphic. It wouldn't have looked.
I'll put 4 pieces of Popeye's chicken on this coaching kit. Let's start doing.
Meanwhile, this coach has died because he was waiting in line for those 4 pieces of chicken.
Oh, would you stop it?
I only have so much more to live. This week's deal is Stories Coffee.
Oh, nice. I love
They
coffee.
also have great teas, smoothies, breakfast, and lunch. They roast all their coffee on site.
Boom, roast.
And you can get a $5-10 vouchers for only $25. That's half price. They go on sale this Friday at 1620thezone.com. Mitch Holthus coming up next.
Previously on The Crossover.
Ancient Egyptians created the tradition of funeral processions. Did they drive cars? And their early rituals carried unique meaning and purpose. Also known as motorcades, processions started back in ancient Egypt. The deceased would be placed on a sledge to be pulled by men attending the funeral or oxen.
That's pretty much what we do now.
I'm
I'm going to need you to fast forward a couple thousand years here, Josh.
Mornings on 1620 The Zone. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike Conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Some sun, but breezy and cold into late afternoon with the temperatures only in the upper 20s. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight, lows around 20, snow showers and flurries around Thursday morning. Otherwise, partly cloudy, breezy and cold and a high near 30. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
At Sid Dillon Chevrolet, we prioritize you and your vehicle needs. Visit our dealerships to shop inventory or to order your new vehicle. Shop online at SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
This is Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center. We have run our business for years by helping the vehicle owner retain the value of their vehicle by working for them with warranted, safe, high-standard repairs. For this reason, Omaha vehicle owners have chosen Dingman's to repair their vehicles. Your loyalty has been shown through repeat business and amazing referrals. You've also voted us first place Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. We want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and our incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Hi, this is Kathy Knoyer. 'Tis the season at Glass House Market within Knoyer Garden Center. We'd like to be a part of your family's holiday tradition. Whether you're looking for a gift for that special someone or a wreath for your front door, we'd like to invite you to shop our stunning holiday market, full of Christmas decor, novelty items, and fresh greens. Shop Glass House Market, located within Knoyer Garden Center on 66th Street between Cornhusker and Highway 370 in Papillion.
At Knoyer Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory, explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
Steve Sipple breaks down the Michigan game and previews the Wisconsin game. Thursday at Holy Ghost Church on 52nd and Q. Doors open at 5, program starts at 7, and it's only $10 for adults and $5 for children. Sponsored by Jones Barrel Company and Ray Martin Company.
Last year, 42 Degrees Veterans Day promotion was a huge success. Besides the thousands of dollars of food and toiletries donated, 42 Degrees wrote a check for $2,000 to the Veterans Food Pantry. So, help a veteran and help yourself to an extra discount. 5% for 2 items, 10% for 4 items, or 15% for 6 items. So let's show our support to our veterans in 2022 and make this Veterans Day even better. 42 Degrees, your source for CBDs, Kratom, and Delta products. By your mom's house.
The Blue Jays wrap up their season opening homestand against UC Riverside. Pre-game coverage begins with Ravi Lula Thursday night at 6. Tip-off at 7:30. The Blue Jays on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Severe for Ted and Wally's, and a happy holiday season for you. It is a great time to prepare for ice cream. It's always a great time for ice cream, right? But here's how you prepare. You go and you get a gift card. And then you give it to someone, and you know what they do? They love you forever because you've given them ice cream, and you've given them Ted and Wally's ultra premium ice cream as well, made with 20% butterfat over 35 years with 3,000 different flavors. They also have great merchandise as well, all with the gift card. Head over to 2 locations, Benson and the Old Market, and tell them Severe sent you.
It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
That guy. Oh,
yeah.
man.
It's on 1620.
The Zone. You ready? The most exciting announcer in professional football.
Picked off at the goal line. 20, 15, 10, 5. Jalen Watson.
Welcome to the Red. Nobody can paint a picture with words quite like he can.
Will activate all 5 senses of your body. I think the rectal buzz that you get from the seat, maybe,
The man.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
The myth.
And the Chiefs Kingdom has firmly planted its flag on top of football's highest summit.
The legend of the Hy-Vee salad bar.
You want to choco kiss right now in the parking lot of the St. Joe Hy-Vee.
Mitch Holthus.
The Kansas City Chiefs are champions of Super Bowl 54.
I just figured it out.
What's that?
There's a reason why this coaching search is going to last very long. It's because the candidate is still going to be coaching in February in Arizona.
Andy Reid.
I mean, why else wouldn't the big red coach with the big red mustache not coach the big red?
Bingo.
So there you go. I figured it out. Trev is waiting on the Chiefs to be done with their season. As we know, they're probably going to win the Super Bowl this year. Isn't that right, Mitch Holthus?
Well, that's kind of the way I'm thinking, but hey, we got a long way to go. But Big Red's got all the red he wants right here. So he was destined to coach here with that nickname. It's hard to be Big Red when you're coaching Philadelphia. But right here, it all fits, man. We're all cooking.
After seeing the hit on Juju Smith-Schuster last Sunday, do you think the NFL needs to take a page out of the college rule book and start treating the helmet-to-helmet hits the same way, where, the flag comes out, they go upstairs, they review it, they can uphold the call, eject the player, or they can, overturn the call, keep the penalty? Would you prefer seeing something that works like that? Because if that hit had happened in a college game, I'm guessing there would have been something more than what happened.
Yeah, Cisco would have been probably thrown out of the game. It's interesting in the night game, obviously, the Chargers against the 49ers, that Dre Greenlaw was ejected from the game.
Right.
And that was, Herbert was lowering his head. He's a runner. He's not defenseless. In the case of Juju, he was defenseless. If you look at the rule, when staying not only the letter of the law, but the intent, the receiver has to have the opportunity to brace himself for a hit. And in the case of the Cisco hit, he did not. I equate it, and I don't use it flippantly, but I think it makes the point. It's like going through the intersection and somebody reds a red light, T-bones you. Like, you don't see him coming. And that's what it was for Juju. And that's what they're trying to eliminate from football, the way I understand it. I think you guys are onto something. I think there's going to be a ton of discussion about it in the off season, and give the eye in the sky some discretion. Wait a minute. I mean, they still can do that now a little bit, but I'm not saying they'll adopt the college rule, but I bet it's discussed.
So what do we know then about Smith-Schuster? And also there were a couple of other injuries from the game. Chris Lamons, cornerback, Andrew Wiley, offensive tackle. What do we know at midweek about their status for Sunday night?
Well, that's the challenging thing. And when I talked to you guys at 3:15 on Wednesday, is it's still in the embryonic stages from an injury standpoint. And again, I know I'll tell you many times, hey, just stay tuned. It's almost day to day. And on those, I would say, Salt Wiley, he's positively approaching the week. So I don't want to get ahead of the team here. On Juju, it's a matter of being in the protocol. Not all concussions are the same, obviously. Not all players are the same. When you take into account the grid that takes into account the player and the level of concussion that they had, then it takes on a whole another discussion. But Lamons, I'm not sure either on him. I mean, he's more critical than people think. He's like a special teams menace. He's really good in four-core teams, even though people don't know about him much. He's helped this team win 7 games.
Mitch, don't really know how to transition. I guess I'll just look at the receiver room, since we were talking about a receiver. Kadarius Toney picks up his first touchdown with the Chiefs. It's funny. There are some New York Giants fans in my life, and I know that they're already very disappointed that he has like more production with them than he did in New York. What did you see from him in that play? And I guess overall, how he's worked with the offense so far?
My next door neighbor is a New York Giants fan.
Ha!
I mean, he's got the floor mat, his pickup's blue, he's got the tag. I mean,
does he know what you do for a living?
What's that?
Does he know what you do for a living? That almost seems like he's taunting you.
Oh yeah, he'll taunt me. Like, he's yelling at me. I get home from the game after Tony has this incredible game of all-purpose yards, catches, and jet sweeps, and touchdowns, and one-legged hops into the end zone. He's just yelling at me like, dude, it's not my fault. Okay, talk to your own guys. And I just went in the house. That was it. But you guys asked me a couple of weeks ago, how quick is he going to get integrated? And I said, I didn't know. This is instant oatmeal. This is so way ahead of where I thought Tony would be as far as an impact in this offense, but he's like full on. Here's just some interesting stats. The Chiefs are number 1 in the NFL with 41 completions of 20 yards or more to 10 different guys.
Wow.
Tony just got added to the list. The Chiefs are threatening an all-time National Football League record because they have 10 guys already with receiving touchdowns. The all-time NFL record is 13 in a single season, and you can kind of figure out who's left to add to that list that they could be added. And then you look at targets. There are 11 different players who have had at least 14 targets on this team. That kind of goes back to what I talked to you about in the summertime, but didn't know Tony would be added, in the fact that this team has just of a lot of chess pieces. There's bishops, rooks, queens, obviously, and the king, but there's just a lot of chess pieces. And like they've traded in some pawns here for more bishops. And the upside, there's still a long way for this team to go offensively with an upside.
Well, I've always maintained that the best way to play chess is just to use all your bishops.
And John Bishop.
Because they're always the
That's
best.
it. And I'll just take all bishops and a king. Let's just go.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Because I'm going to attack on the angle, right? Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm always about the diagonal attack. Speaking of moving around pieces, Brett,
you play on Creighton Road games, don't you? You guys play chess on Creighton Road games.
You think John's smart enough for chess?
I can play chess.
He's a Connect 4 guy.
I can play chess.
I actually can't.
Play Coach McDermott. Play him in
I can
chess.
show you.
You know what? Tomorrow night for pregame, I'm going to ask him, do you play chess?
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah.
Mitch Holthus wants to know if you play chess.
Great question.
And then when the Jays come down for the Midwest
Cascade,
Regional
Iowa,
in Kansas City, I'll bring you can come over and play chess with Mac before the Final Four. Or the chance to get to the Final Four.
I'll bring all bishops, and he can Cascade, Iowa, can have whatever he wants.
I think they just played with. I think they just played with like corn cobs in Cascade.
Dave Weber.
Yeah. Well, we can do that too. I mean, it's just make it more interesting that way. I think.
Yeah, but speaking of moving around some pieces, Brett Veach is going to have some pieces to move around because Frank Clark's returning from suspension.
Yeah.
You got Lucas Niang, who is, his pup list window is starting to close. So you got to make a decision on him. Plus, there's a few others, and we mentioned some of the injuries earlier. So there's some decisions to make in terms of what to do with the 53-man roster here over the next few days.
Right, and the chemistry's so good on this team, it's just surging forward. I mentioned to you almost weekly that the chemistry on this team is about as good as I've ever seen it in my brief 29 years in the league. So you want to not throw that off. Brett Veach spends every waking moment looking how can I improve the team. If Niang can come back and be strong at the right tackle position, or even a really strong backup, or be an additional lineman, that'll be an asset for this team. But defensively, you alluded to getting Frank Clark back. The hidden story of this team, now statistically, defensively, it's not real pretty, but in effect, and you look at the last game and a half, take the second half of the Titans and the Jaguars game, we're kind of under discussing the defense, and especially the linebackers, Nick Bolton and Willie Gay Jr. The Jaguars got some talented guys. I mean, that's a young team that's emerging. That was last week's discussion. And like this week's game against Austin Eckler, and I know we're headed there, but your linebackers have got to be able to do everything. They got to play the run and the bubble screen. Think about the bubble screen. They raise up, they throw it out there. Oh, it's a 3-on-2, 3-on-3 game. And the numbers have got to change with a fast linebacker screaming out there who's going to make a play going 100 miles an hour in a 30-yard space. And Willie Gay Jr. and Nick Bolton are doing that with regularity. Those two guys teamed up for 16 tackles last week against the Jags. And when I reviewed the video, I'm like, I'm not talking about these guys enough. They're super fast, and they can cover side to side, play the run and the pass, and that's something the Chiefs have not had. This is potentially the best defense Andy Reid will. It's got room to go and room to grow. But these linebackers are the best Coach Reid has had here in his 10 years.
Mitch, speaking of room to go, obviously plenty of season left, but just looking at the records within the AFC West right now, whether it's overall or in the division, a win by Kansas City on Sunday over the Chargers would move them to 3-0 in the division, 2 wins over the second place team, the Chargers. Teams 3 and 4, just like looking at the math, they're sub 500. They wouldn't be able to get above 500 until December, like mid-December maybe. So I guess I say all that to ask you, like, does it feel like this might be the chance to just kind of shut the door on the division before Thanksgiving?
Well, let's just take the Chargers in and of themselves. They're desperate and dug in to win. They've had a bunch of injuries. Guys, every year we say this about these guys, and they're the talk of June and May. But here they are again, a lot of injuries, but talented and capable. All right, but they're dug in. Now, to your point, excellent point. But the Chiefs have, if they win this game, the Chiefs will have a 3-game lead over their next closest competitor with a tiebreaker. They will have swept it. So essentially a 4-game lead with 7 games to go. The other story here is what happened in that Bills-Vikings game. You've seen the next-gen stat. The Bills had a 99.1% chance of winning that game after stopping Kirk Cousins. And we're thinking, okay, well, that's, there's the Bills just screaming to that 1 seed. And then the 0.9% of 1% thing happened, and they lose that game. And the door flies open. I'm doing a Defending the Kingdom podcast. I think we'll get it up tomorrow. We got a ton of Omaha folks that are Kingdom defenders because we hear from them. We'll put that podcast up tomorrow, but I'm making a playoff. See if you guys remember this scene from the movie in Rocky 2, where Adrian's got the little baby Rocky Jr. and Rocky's like, I don't know you. If you only just let go, I'll go do something else instead of mixing it up with Creed. And she goes, hey, do something for me. Win. And then you hear that bell tone, bang, bing. And then Mickey goes, what are we waiting
for? What are we waiting for?
What are we waiting for? Take it. Take this. So that's where the Chiefs are. That's the crux of the matter of that podcast tomorrow is who thought on November the 16th the Chiefs would be back in the 1 seed and have a chance, to your point, you get asked the question, long answer here, but you can absolutely put a vice grip on this division by mid-November. And nobody saw that coming in June or July.
Well, here's another reason why I think the Big Red coach is coming to Lincoln.
With the big red mustache?
Kellis Robinette, who's the beat writer for K-State for the Wichita
Friend
Eagle
of
and
the
the KC
program.
Star,
Big Red.
is reporting that K-State's football coach, Chris Kleiman, on the verge of a new contract extension and some lucrative bonuses, so you can take him off the list. So you get to keep the coach for your old employer, but you're losing the coach for your new employer. So,
well, and he's 2 wins away from playing for the Big 12 championship, so he's got his hands full.
Yep. And all Andy Reid has is the 1 seed in the AFC. I mean, come on.
He doesn't have much on his plate.
He'd much rather recruit for Nebraska.
Yeah, way to get that rumor started. Now that'll be, think about every coffee shop in Husker land is going, are we going to get Andy Reid? Andy Reid.
That's all right. They need another one to replace the one with the barber who said, yeah, I know the guy who cuts Urban Meyer's hair, and he's already signed the deal. So we need something.
I got a real estate agent. He lives next door, and they're looking at houses for Urban Meyer. Like, okay.
He's getting his streaming service installed.
You know what? You guys can keep speculating about that, but I just me. I don't want to speak out of, too far over the skis here, but I would cross Andy Reid off that list. Just me.
Mitch Holthus reports Andy Reid not going to Nebraska.
But boys, your newly made promo that intros me every week, talking about the activating of the 5 senses, including the rectal buzz. Guess what I was referencing? SoFi Stadium. Guess where we're at Sunday night?
SoFi Stadium. So for anything else, listen to 1290 on Sunday night just to hear when it kicks in for Mitch in the broadcast booth.
Well, and it got to Coach McDermott so much, he keeps hearing it, that he tried to schedule your game against the Highlanders of UC Riverside in SoFi Stadium.
It's not a bad, as good as Creighton is playing right now, they're going to need the 80,000 seats to watch that team. Just saying.
Well, think about that. A little tournament at SoFi, a little 4-gamer.
That'd be fun.
San Diego State, the Jays. I don't know, let's throw UCLA in there, and then the UCSB Gauchos play it right in the middle of SoFi Stadium. And then you guys can feel what I'm going to feel Sunday night.
I got it. Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs, brought to you by Hy-Vee, official grocery partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Thanks, Mitch.
Bye, Mitch.
One other thing, boys. What are we waiting for? Take this.
I love that scene. It's a great scene. Mitch Holthus, the voice of the Chiefs, joins us every Wednesday here on 1620 The Zone. You can help a child in need experience the joy of opening a gift on Christmas morn. Join 1620 The Zone and J-Tech Solar and Construction as we stuff the truck. Mark your calendars, Friday, December 2nd, 10A to 6P. Saturday, December 3rd, 11A to 4P, right here at our station at 50th and Dodge. Stuff the truck, benefit toys for tots with J-Tech Solar Construction and 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone's 4-quarter pick'em returns. It's your chance to win $1,620. All you have to do is correctly pick 4 college or NFL games against the spread. Listen to qualify every weekday or enter online at 1620thezone.com. One lucky listener will be selected each week to make their picks live on air.
Awesome.
Go to 1620thezone.com for complete rules and contest details. It's 4-quarter pick'em with 1620 The Zone. Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction. Presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more. Join the show immediately after the game and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction on 101.9 The Keg and 1620 The Zone.
When I need a new furnace or AC, I choose a company that provides solutions that meet my needs and budget.
When my furnace or AC needs repairs, I call a company with reliable technicians, not commissioned salespeople.
When I need a straight answer, I choose a company that is honest and has integrity.
At Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we provide the best solutions for your needs and budget. It's just part of
the way we do the things we do.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
There's no other way to say it. Divorce is a punch to the stomach. Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists. When you're going through a divorce, there are so many things to deal with. Aside from the emotional aspects, the financial issues that go along with a divorce can be just as difficult. You'd think buying a house while you're going through a divorce would be out of the question, but not in all cases. Many lenders will tell you that isn't possible, but Mortgage Specialists helps people who are going through a divorce on a regular basis. Just ask Philip Katz.
As soon as they can nail down that they'll be approved for a mortgage or so forth, it just relaxes them a lot because they know that kind of the foundational pieces of their security and the continuity are in place.
Whatever the goal, Mortgage Specialists can help you reach it. Mortgage Specialists. Driven, trusted, reliable. Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
Last year, I enrolled my family for health care coverage through the health insurance marketplace. Do I need to enroll again?
Yes, we have seen the plans available through the marketplace change, and new options may be available. You must re-enroll for 2023 to ensure you or your family are in the right plan for your budget and needs. One World Community Health Centers in Omaha can help. Just call 402-502-8888 to set up an appointment with a team member.
I don't have health coverage, and I'm worried that if I get sick, I can't afford the medical bills. How do I get started?
Getting started is easy and free. Just call to set up an appointment with a Navigator enrollment specialist. We will explain your coverage options, answer any questions, help you enroll, and see if you qualify for financial assistance. Open enrollment is November 1st through January 15th. Re-enroll in healthcare coverage or enroll for the first time. Call One World Community Health Centers at 402-502-8888 to set up an appointment.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/enjoy. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/enjoy. That's BARTESIAN.com/enjoy for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/enjoy.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Severe for Ted and Wally's, the perfect gift to be given during the giving season. We're talking gift cards with the merchandise and so many great holiday flavors. And not just can you buy it there and eat it there, but you can also take it home as well. You got pints, you got quarts, you got half gallons, all for the holiday season, and you'll make someone's day by giving them the gift of ice cream. Head over to Benson, location right next to Taste of New Orleans, or into the Old Market. Grab some gift cards, grab some to-go orders as well. And when you visit, of course, tell them Severe sent you.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Normally we do fired up for football here, but we're going to wait because Mike Schaefer's going to join us in the video stream here in just a few minutes. The college football playoff ratings came out last night, and I said yesterday as part of our college football hot take market that I think it is now more likely that we have two non-division winning teams get into the playoff, the loser of the Ohio State-Michigan game and Tennessee. The fly in the ointment to that would be if the one-loss ACC champion, be it Clemson or North Carolina in the moment, were to pass one of those teams. The problem is, after yesterday's rankings came out, Clemson is still only 9th. They trail Alabama, USC, and LSU and Tennessee. And North Carolina is only 13th. They're behind 1, 2, 3, 4 two-loss teams. North Carolina is.
They'd have to climb over a lot of teams.
So it's my point is it's not looking very strong in the moment that even a one-loss ACC champion can get in. Now, obviously, in order for all of this any of that to take place, TCU has to lose. And you wonder if they, especially if the loss comes in the conference championship game. I guess at this point it may not even matter. But that's kind of what we're looking at now. It's almost starting to look like we're going to end up with some combination of Georgia, Ohio State, or Michigan, TCU or Tennessee, and then maybe sneak in LSU if, and that's a huge if,
they have to win.
They beat Georgia.
So you don't think USC? Did you say USC?
And USC is still on the table, but I doubt they win out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I doubt they win out.
Because I would say if they win out,
USC is in there too. USC is in the conversation if they win out. But you know what would really be interesting?
12-1 USC versus 11-1 Tennessee. Or versus 11-1 Michigan or Ohio State?
No, 12-1 Southern Cal versus 11-2 LSU.
Oh, that actually, I think that's not interesting. I think that's so easy. It'd be LSU.
Oh, it would be, but at Southern Cal could say we only have one loss, but it could come down to that. And then if you mix in,
I think that'd be an easy choice for them.
It probably would be.
They would have wins over Alabama. They'd have the best win of the season because they would have beaten Georgia.
Right. Yeah, you're probably right.
I think.
But the bottom line is this: the ACC is in big trouble.
They are darn near boxed out.
Yeah.
They are darn near boxed out.
There's too many teams to pass, and a lot of those teams can play for their own conference championship.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But, man, the possibility of 2 Big Ten, 2 SEC.
Yeah, man, it does seem like it's incredibly likely.
Looks strong. And 2 of those teams would be non-division winning teams.
Man, the Pac-12 just stepped all over themselves. They totally screwed themselves. UCLA blowing it to Arizona, and Oregon not blowing it. They lost to a really good team with a really great coach in Kalen DeBoer. He agreed with me, Nick. Cut that out. But seriously, those 2 teams losing really put that league in a tough spot because of those 3, I thought USC might have been the least likely to make it through at 12-1.
Mm-hmm.
And now they are the only one that could. They're the only one that could. Tough.
Yeah, right now, if you're the committee, you're hoping that TCU wins. But then even in that case, let's say TCU does win out.
Mm-hmm.
You have Georgia,
Ribbit,
the winner of Ohio State, Michigan, and TCU. And you've only got one more spot left. And now you're debating Tennessee, one loss Tennessee, one loss Michigan. I'll just assume it's Michigan. Oh, you know what? Let's make it interesting. One loss Ohio State.
Yeah, that's more interesting.
One loss Southern Cal and a one loss ACC team for one spot.
Yeah. I think the ACC's definitely out.
I think the ACC's in trouble. Coming up next, Mike Schaefer will join us.
Nice.
From Husker 24/7. We said we had some interesting audio yesterday from Mickey Joseph we didn't get to. I wanted to get Schaefer's reaction to a couple of things he said, particularly on the recruiting side, and we'll talk about that and more as we continue next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center, police activity has the 2 right lanes blocked on North 49th Street at Corby. Avoid that area if you can. Otherwise, delays on 370 for both directions between Golden Boulevard and the JFK. And then if you're north on the JFK, delays starting at Gilmore Ave going to F Street. If you're south on the JFK, delays from I-80 to F Street. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Fernando's Omaha.
Thank you, Omaha. It's triple first-place wins for Fernando's. Fernando's is honored and grateful to you for voting them the best Mexican restaurant in the Best of Omaha and Omaha Choice Awards and Best Margarita in the Omaha Choice Awards. Fernando's, family-owned and community-served.
Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We continue to grow and add new customers. Many employers are looking for new ideas for their staff as people return to the office. Our pantry service is a great office amenity for staff and guests. Fresh food, snacks, coffee, water, and other beverages for employees and guests. Enhance your office experience with pantry service from Host Coffee. Learn more at hostcoffee.net.
Email Unsportsmanlike Conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Steve Sipple breaks down the Michigan game and previews the Wisconsin game. Thursday at Holy Ghost Church on 52nd and Q. Doors open at 5, program starts at 7, and it's only $10 for adults and $5 for children. Sponsored by Parking Area Maintenance Inc. and Husker Hounds.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is and has always been locally owned and operated. Now, with 160 employee owners, chances are one of us lives in your neighborhood. We take pride in taking care of you, our customers, and keeping you comfortable all year round. And as always, our technicians don't have sales quotas. When other companies send salespeople, Standard sends qualified technicians. It's just part of.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Since this is a radio commercial, you can't see the people standing behind me. They're the Langfeld family. Everybody wave. Oh, sorry, you can't see them because radio. Anyway, the Langfelds are the family behind Langfeld Overhead Door, where they proudly install Midland garage doors to fit any space and style, and they don't take a backseat to anyone when it comes to their service. Because if something goes wrong, it's their name on the line. So they're going to make sure it goes right every single time. Langfeld Overhead Door, 402-234-2700.
Steve Sipple breaks down the Michigan game and previews the Wisconsin game. Thursday at Holy Ghost Church on 52nd and Q. Doors open at 5, program starts at 7, and it's only $10 for adults and $5 for children. Sponsored by Beer City and Mama's Pizza.
Hey everybody, it's Gary Sharp. Join me for We Got a Podcast, driven by Woodhouse Auto Family. We get more in depth, have a guest or two, and drop nuggets of info you haven't heard anywhere else. Join us for We Got a Podcast, driven by Woodhouse Auto Family, every Friday in the show page on 1620thezone.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Greeting, Earthlings. We have now taken over your radio.
Mike Schaefer.
See, I would argue, because I like to argue, we all underestimated how hard it is to, one, win college football games, and two, transition and take over a program.
Mike Schaefer.
I was trying to kindly tell Mr. Bishop the Vikings have a chance to surprise some people, and I think that they could even win the division.
Mike Schaefer.
It doesn't seem like the kind of book where they would be hooked on meth. That got dark.
Mike Schaefer.
He's still upright. Legitimately, Schaefer, I was worried. I thought we had seen the last of you Sunday afternoon at about 3:15. That last sequence of plays, it was almost more fun to explain to my son what had happened than it was to watch it. Because as I'm telling the story, I'm almost not believing what I'm saying. I even left out the part where Justin Jefferson made the catch out of nowhere on 4th and 17. I said, oh, yeah, and by the way, it was stupid. So I'm glad you're still with us, but I'm worried for you and your Viking friends, because if they're going to continue to put you through this, I don't think you're going to make it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like having lived through being walked off in Game 7 of the World Series, having seen Brett Favre throw an interception that didn't need to happen, having watched Gary Anderson miss a field goal, that, I mean, the Minneapolis Miracle. Like, I've seen big moments before. I've watched wild, crazy finishes, but that was a bonkers ass regular season football game. And I'm glad that Josh Peterson suggested that we get together to watch the game. He came all the way down to South Lincoln where I live. He sat on my couch.
It's so far to get there. Driving through like 30 minutes of Lincoln. It's insane how long.
Well, you didn't take the right. If you turn off and you go through, I think it's like Alvo and Eagle, you cut out a lot of that stuff. You really don't, you pop in on Old Cheney, you really don't have to deal with any traffic lights. Like there's a veteran way to get to South Lincoln, Josh. You'll learn it at some time.
I won't because I don't imagine I'm going to come visit you like once a week for the rest of my life. It'll just be like probably, a few times a year.
Yeah, but you'll be like, Schaefer said that I should probably find this route. I'm not dumb. I can do this. We believe in you, Josh. You're not dumb. You can do this.
Well, we'll see about that.
Anyways,
it was great.
Josh was sitting on the couch just watching me act like a crazy person. And it's not even as if this was just some random Sunday football game. No, like this was between two pretty good teams. And the weirdest set of circumstances that I can remember in a game, like with Josh Allen fumbling, with the sort of absurd what was going on around the goal line. No one has mentioned, I've listened to more podcasts and read more about the Minnesota Vikings this past 2 or 3 days than I have at any other point in time in the last probably 10 years. And not one single national writer, not one single local Vikings person has mentioned Dalvin Cook got hit directly in the 4 on his jersey and dropped a touchdown pass right before the quarterback sneak that I still think he sort of scored. I don't know how he didn't score, but whatever. So there was so much that was happening that somehow everyone has completely forgotten about Dalvin Cook dropping that pass. And then no one is talking about the Buffalo Bills having 47 people on the field on 1st and goal from the 2. And this was not a penalty. Just after, and that's, those are like the things that are getting missed because there was maybe the best catch anyone's ever seen. There was like an absolutely absurd touchdown defensively and a fumble and like a body switch between Josh Allen and Kirk Cousins. Everything that was written about how Kirk Cousins, like you questioned whether he can win or not. Josh Allen had 3 horrific turnovers in that game. Like absolutely every one of them was a killer. Like it resulted in points in 1 and took points off the board 2 other times with 2 end zone interceptions. Like just bonkers level stuff. And all of this is going on. And Josh is just sort of like sitting there because I think at that point, and I was in a similar situation hours later, you don't really know how you're supposed to act or respond or do anything when the person next to you is living and dying on every damn play for 45 minutes.
The best part too was Schaefer after the drop and then preemptively before the Kirk Cousins sneak, you were already like mad about the takes about Cousins, and then he didn't score, and you're like, people are going to blame Cousins for this. They're not going to blame Dalvin Cook, even though he dropped the pass. And then now you're still like, I love this that you're still mad about that days later.
It's so damn lazy. Like people are so pathetically lazy about this. It's like they win the game, and one of the first articles I see from my own employer at CBS Sports, can Kirk Cousins take the Vikings to the Super Bowl? No, he can't. They're only 8-1 right now. The win against the Bills, who were all told are the best team in the NFL until they lost a damn game, and now they're no longer good. And the Eagles are the best team in the NFL, but they just lost to the Commanders, who the Vikings just beat, but they didn't get any credit for beating them. And the Commanders are good, and the Eagles are good, and the Vikings suck, and Kirk Cousins is terrible. That's what the coverage is.
This is what I'm talking about. I don't think you're going to make it to the end of the season because
I'm here, baby. You can't get rid of me this easily.
I don't want to get rid of
weed.
you.
I'm growing in your flower beds. I'm climbing your fences. I'm a vine. I come back every year.
I'm just
Spider
worried.
just entered the room. I've gotten really loud.
I can imagine. He thinks another Viking game is starting. But it's the combination of what the Vikings are putting you through, plus you taking up the torch for Kirk Cousins.
Shape, you know what you're
I
like?
don't need people to say that he's great. I just need him to acknowledge that he's at least the 10th best quarterback in the NFL. Can we not get that from people? I can name 22 other quarterbacks I don't want this year. I can probably name 25 other quarterbacks I don't want this year.
I think you can. I think it's above 20.
And so, yes, that means that
he's
Kirk
not
Cousins can take the Vikings to the Super Bowl. But more importantly, the Vikings aren't going to the Super Bowl, so we don't have to discuss that.
Who is going to the Super Bowl in the NFC?
A team from the NFC and
is
a
it going to be the Eagles?
AFC.
Am I going to be really mad?
It's not going to be the Eagles.
Okay, good.
It's going to be the
Niners.
Bucks. The Bucks are going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, gross.
That's how this is going to end. Tom Brady is going to be in the Super Bowl, and they're going to play the Chiefs again, and they're going to lose 49-13, and we're all going to have the game turned off in the third quarter.
And then Jack Mitchell is going to tweet, this is actually what the Super Bowl was like when we were growing up. And then John's going to be like, yeah, it was. All you millennials haven't had to have these bad Super Bowls.
Well, I mean, that is true.
Jeez.
Jack will be too busy talking about his stupid fantasy team and Juju Smith-Schuster and how he should get points for it, even though it's a Super Bowl. And the season ended 5 weeks ago. That's what Jack will be tweeting about. Everyone will be talking about some great play, and he'll be talking about how he got Juju Smith-Schuster for $13 and how it's the most underrated move in league history. Because that's Jack Mitchell.
Hope he's listening right now.
All right, we filibustered enough. I guess we have to talk about the Huskers.
Which part of the Huskers?
Well, I want to play this audio clip because we didn't get to it yesterday. I wanted to save this for Schaefer, and this was Mickey Joseph. He was asked about recruiting, and he got on the subject specifically about California with the two new teams coming into the Big Ten from Southern California. Here was Mickey Joseph yesterday.
I don't think it makes sense to go to Cali and go get a 6 or 7. You know, I don't think you go out there to get a 6 or 7 best player because you got USC out there, you got UCLA out there, you got Washington out there. You got to understand kids from the West Coast, they tend to stay close to home because one thing Lincoln's not going to be is California. Never. You know, we say the same thing when I was at LSU. We didn't go out there a lot because California kids, they kind of want that place to be Cali, and it's not. So we're going to continue to go where we've been going, you know, Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, you know, Jersey, and Kansas City, St. Louis, you know, and then here in the home state. So we're going to go out there, but we're not going to go out there and just say, okay, we're satisfied. We're going to go out there. We're going out there to get a draft pick.
Schaefer, your thoughts on that? And California's always been an interesting case story, and I'm even going back further than the whole Calibraska thing. Tom Osborne recruited California.
Lawrence Phillips.
You know, so did a lot of people have recruited California. But what'd you think of that answer?
Yeah, it's interesting. I always find it like people go out of their way to try to say Nebraska can't recruit California or can't recruit the West Coast. I find that kind of odd because there's so many kids and they have to go somewhere. And frankly, like it's hard to get into Cal and Stanford and UCLA and USC. So that in itself makes it kind of difficult for them to be able to all go there. I mean, so then you get a lot of kids that go to Oregon and Colorado and Arizona State and Arizona. But Oklahoma has, you know, pre-Lincoln Riley's departure was going into California routinely, and they were able to pull kids. I mean, if Nebraska was winning like they were even under Bo Pelini, they would have more success going into California. Like the kids will come play here if there's a reason to come play here. If there's someone out there recruiting them. Nebraska hasn't allocated any resources to recruit California significantly in the last 5 years. I mean, that's part of why there's not that much interest there. They haven't had dedicated coaches out there recruiting it the same way they've recruited Atlanta, the same way they've recruited Florida, the same way they've recruited the Florida Panhandle, the same way they've recruited Alabama or Mississippi. So they haven't invested resources in doing that. But if there's a coach that wanted to go and do that, he could have success with it. And I'm not even trying to argue against what Mickey Joseph is saying because I understand what he's getting at. But ultimately, where you put your resources is going to dictate if those kids are going to come there or not. Like, I have a hard time believing that there's this cultural difference between a kid in New Orleans and a kid in Los Angeles as they view Nebraska. I don't know that the kid in New Orleans is necessarily thinking, yeah, I can see myself in Lincoln a lot easier than a kid in Los Angeles or in the North Bay area can either. I mean, you still have to do the job of giving them the reason as to why they want to come there in the first place. And that starts with being visible. And if you're never out in California, and Nebraska has chosen not to be for basically 5 years, you lose visibility, then yeah, obviously those kids aren't going to come here. But if you're investing that resource into it the way that Mickey has with Louisiana, which it wasn't like that had been a hotbed for talent for Nebraska. I think you had Matthew Anderson under Scott Frost prior to Mickey Joseph. Is there someone else I'm forgetting out of the Louisiana? I mean, so it's all about resource allocation, really.
Schaefer, a recruiting and a coaching search question for you then in the same, as you have, asked around, made calls, tried to find out information on maybe who is or isn't interested in the job. Has there been maybe something you have learned about any candidates in particular on the recruiting trail that you find interesting, whether it's how they operate, what they look for, part of the country, or something else?
Yeah, I mean, it's all sort of, I did a lot of this more in September than I have recently, but it's a good reminder that it's worth doubling back, seeing how some of those classes are, if anything's kind of changed in the last couple months. I mean, there's different coaches attack it differently, obviously. A great example, Lance Leipold at Buffalo tended to work off of his own evaluation more than he ever did with the area's top recruits that they might have been able to get, and tended to sort of trust his own process a little bit more. With Matt Rule, I mean, a lot has been written about. He kind of had a formula. And, I think when this was written in 2016, 2017, it's a little more unique than it is now. But he had a formula for what his starting cornerbacks were supposed to look like, what their athletic measurements were supposed to be. And so they valued baseline athleticism far more than high school production. They valued baseline athleticism far more than where a kid ended in the recruiting rankings. If he had a verified track score, that was more valuable than what he did at a Nike camp. I mean, so there's certain, coaches, Rules one of them. We've seen that with others where they put a lot of emphasis in verified athleticism or that kind of thing versus maybe just straight high school production, and certainly more so than, just straight recruiting rankings. And if you go back and you look at Matt Rule's 2017 recruiting class, which was the only, was 2018 recruiting class, the only full class he really got to do there. There's a lot of NFL guys that are coming out of that. Like there's a lot of good players for Dave Aranda came out of that 2018 class. A lot of guys that, played for him in the 2019 title game came out of 2017 and 2018. So I think his system proved to be pretty correct with what they were doing down there. Dave Doran, another guy that I think is a candidate or at least worth discussing. He really tailored his approach to, we're just going to try to clean up in the Carolinas. We think there's enough talent here. And they've unearthed a number of, mid to high 3 stars that they put in the NFL that were maybe passed over by some of the better schools in that region. And so he really focused on recruiting close to home. And NC State didn't have a single player enter the transfer portal after last season. So everybody does it a little bit differently. It's all, to me, how does that look if you stick them in Lincoln? Because what Dave Doran did at NC State isn't viable. There's just not that level of athlete, right here in Nebraska to have, if you're going to take 28 kids in a class, you can't take 18 from your home state here in Lincoln. Now they've offered 8 to 10 this year. So maybe it's growing or getting a little bit better. But from the recruiting standpoint, a lot of it is sort of difficult because Lincoln is such a unique animal recruiting wise than what you're going to get where these places, these coaches are currently at now.
Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7 Sports. Do you think that maybe the difficulty of recruiting to Lincoln is scaring off some candidates, or do they, and I know they don't look at recruiting rankings, but considering that Nebraska's typically always had the best recruiting rankings in the West Division, do you think some might look at that and say, well, they've been able to bring in some decent players, they just haven't been very good at developing, coaching, and retaining those players? Where do you think, Nebraska's recruiting stature currently sits with a lot of the current candidates?
They may not look at the recruiting rankings and talk about them publicly, but when they're in their contracts as incentives, they're looking at the recruiting rankings. So, it's an interesting conversation because I look at Nebraska and I think the resources and everything are here. Like you have the money to be able to recruit nationally, to bring people in. This isn't, a school where you guys remember when they first started allowing parents to come on official visits and pay for it. There was some schools in the Big Ten Conference that were like, nah, we're not going to pay for parents. Like Nebraska would never do that. They're never going to be that cheap. You guys can figure out what school is directly east of Nebraska that was so cheap they wouldn't fly parents in, and they lost multiple commitments because of it, including a couple guys that went on to the NFL that went to, I think, Arkansas and some other places. But Nebraska would never be that cheap. And I think that would speak to, if you're trying to recruit here, you're going to have resources. You have a new facility coming in. Yes, the 500-mile radius is more difficult here than it would be in other places. But at the same time, I mean, you look at these recruiting classes, Nebraska has had success going to Texas and to Louisiana and to Georgia and to Florida and to New Jersey. So because of that national approach, if you get the right people on your staff as recruiters, you're going to be successful enough. For me, the conversation has evolved beyond, can they be a top 25 recruiting team? Because I think that's unequivocally yes most of the time. It's can they develop the talent that they actually bring in? That's what the last two coaching staffs have failed to do at a remarkably high level. They have not developed their 4-star players. They have not developed their top-end guys. They've lost too many pieces, and you can't develop what isn't there. And that's what's more important than everything to me.
Schaefer, we got a question earlier from a listener named Rick, and he said, what percentage would you place on the coaching hire / search? A possibility that this is Peterson Callahan 2.0. In other words, Trev didn't get his guy, the plane came back empty, and now scrambling to find a replacement. Like, do you think that there is a possibility that the next however many weeks unfold, and maybe we don't find out immediately, but it just kind of has this vibe to it?
I definitely think it's a possibility that this job could get turned down by some people. I mean, it could be used as leverage for another job. It could be used as simply to get your name out there and expand your own kind of extension package that could be coming. That's entirely possible. It's going to be hard to say because you never really know how often a job actually gets offered versus someone just pulls their interest, or they do enough job showing interest at their school, then provides the extension they were looking for all along, but they were maybe never actually a candidate. But there's a possibility that, we're having this conversation in a couple Wednesdays and we're wondering why Nebraska hasn't hired a coach yet. And that would tell me that they've probably been turned down at least once, maybe twice. Who knows how many total times? And I look forward to the Athletic article in 2042 or whatever, whenever that would come out. Because that one for the Steve Peterson search, one of the best things that, Mitch Sherman, Max Olson, those guys did a tremendous job with that. That was a great read. I would implore anybody with access to it. If you haven't read it, read it. If you have read it again.
No, it is one of a kind. So I asked Mitch and I asked Bruns yesterday. I'll ask you the same thing. You got to put $10,000 of your own money down. You get 4 names, and one of those 4 has to be the next head coach. Who are the 4 names you're putting down?
Those are okay. So yesterday I did this on a podcast, and I was so unconfident in everything, I ended up just going with Mickey Joseph. And naturally, that drew the ire of some individuals. Today, as I do this with some new information, I feel less likely that Mickey Joseph is going to be Nebraska's coach than I did a day before. Okay. And so I will not include him on my 4.
Okay.
So I'm removing him entirely.
Are you honking? Are you honk?
Don't ever do that again. Well, like everybody, I think the consensus favorite right now, right or wrong, is Matt Rule. So I think he has to be on that list. Am I naming all 4? Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah. These are the 4 you're putting down, and one of them has to hit, or you lose your 10,000.
Okay, so I want Matt Rule in there. I am going to put Jeff Monken in there because I legitimately think that's the fail-safe at this point. I legitimately think that. I'm going to put Lance Leipold on that list.
Oh.
Okay.
And I'm going to put Gary Patterson on that list.
Can you tell John why Gary Patterson's a bad idea?
Oh, good Lord. I've heard your reason.
I know, but I want someone else to say it to you. Can you tell?
I've heard this.
Have you seen this?
Well, I mean, I'll leave it. I've said this a few different times, a few different places, but when I first initially started calling around and vetting what kind of went on at the end of TCU, for starters, I think they were 20-21 in his last 4 seasons. I think that there was a pretty massive disconnect between him and his players. His personality wore on people significantly at the end there. And I think it's always kind of a telling thing to me. We saw it with Mark Richt. We saw it with Les Miles. And I think you'd see it wherever Gary Patterson ends up. When you go from the place where you made your name and you made that program and you have to start over, it hasn't ended well. I can't think of a situation where it has, at least not in recent memory. And I don't know that Nebraska should be like beating down the door to be the latest in that category. Now, if it was 2014, sure. But I just I don't know. I have apprehension with how he feels about NIL and utilizing those resources. And I don't know that he can connect to today's 17-year-old. I mean, I don't know how many people actually can. I don't think anybody in this conversation right now can connect to today's 17-year-old. But that's part of the challenge of the job when you're an assistant football coach or a head football coach.
You know what? In all seriousness, and I know you got to go, Shape, but as I get older and I am like, wow, kids these days, I don't understand anything about them. I am blown away by like a Nick Saban. That dude is in his 70s and he talks to 18 to 22-year-olds all the time. And they respond well to him. Like, we need to maybe give coaches more credit for being able to talk to the youth of America.
Does that mean we need to give Brian Kelly some credit?
Brian
as
Kelly.
weird as he got this summer?
Brian Kelly, a winning coach.
No, not really.
Better than Nick Saban in 2022. Better than Nick Saban in 2022.
Wow.
Because of one play.
No, because of the whole season.
One play.
They're in the SEC championship game.
He misses that 2-point conversion, Alabama's still in the running, and Brian Kelly's being criticized.
John, I think we're living in a state where one play can determine your whole future, can get you a job in the athletic department as a play-by-play guy, or excuse me, color analyst. One play can do a lot for you. So let's not belittle one play.
I know, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Nick, I want you to get a sounder ready. Honk, honk. We're going to be honking, Shape. Honk, honk, honk,
no, it's
honk.
hunkin' for monkin'.
Thank you for doing that.
Honk, honk.
Hunkin' for monkin'.
Honking for monkin'.
Honking for monkin'.
Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7. All right, Shafe, we'll let you get back to listening to more, post-game podcasts of the Vikings-Bills game.
I want you to get like 3 more. Well, I need to have like 2 other phones, and then one of them can be playing a podcast, and the other 2 are just designed for phone calls right now. That way I'm just utilizing all the technology.
Like Schefter, you're just on the phone. You have all these phones. Hey, talking to 2 sources at the same time.
Yeah.
Look at Shay.
That's been me this afternoon.
Nice. All right. Get back to your phone calls.
Yeah, get back to your phone calls, and we'll look for the results of all your research on Husker247.com.
Nice.
That's the plan, gentlemen. That's the plan.
That's the plug.
Bye, Shay.
See you, Shay.
Yeah.
Mike Schaefer, ladies and gentlemen, of Husker 24/7. Still to come, Steve Sipple in 15 minutes, and dumb debates. And next, it's Fired Up for Football.
Boom! Let's get fired up for football.
I'll remind you that this is the blessed week of year where we get a lot of SEC versus FCS.
Oh, would you stop it with your negativity? John,
Negative boys.
The negative boys.
Boys.
The end of the season. We'll talk about it next.
The T, 1620 the zone.
Hey, everyone. Josh Peterson here for my friends at Cougar Vision. At some point, Shape will put up probably an article, column, whatever it is, with a bunch of news and notes information. And I want to be able to read all of that stuff. And I certainly want to be able to do so without squinting. And maybe many of you, when you sit down at night to read a book, when you're looking at the computer at the office or at home, maybe you strain a little bit. Your eyes have gotten a little worse as you have gotten older. Perhaps you need readers now, or you've just been wearing the glasses, the contacts for many, many years like I did. Well, the team at Cougar Vision, they specialize in tough vision problems. And right now, if you have money sitting in your flex plan or in your health savings account as the year comes to a close, it's time for an early holiday gift for yourself. And of course, I'm talking about one of the 7 different procedures that they offer there at Kugler Vision, customized to your unique eyes and activities. I remember before I went in for my consultation, I was like, sweet, gonna get LASIK. Found out, no, it's actually not going to be LASIK for you. Your eyes do not qualify for that, but we have a different procedure. Went ahead with that, of course, a couple months later, and I have not looked back since. Well, I guess I have looked back, but I've done so with clarity and crystal clear vision. Number of payment options, and as I mentioned, the Flex Plan, the HSA, they work with that as well to make it affordable for your budget. Give them a call today at 402-558-2211 or visit them online at KuglerVision.com.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Some sun, but breezy and cold into late afternoon with the temperatures only in the upper 20s. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight, lows around 20, snow showers and flurries around Thursday morning. Otherwise, partly cloudy, breezy and cold, and a high near 30. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Heads up, a vehicle fire has the right lane blocked on southbound 144th at Q Street. Also stopping your traffic on northbound 144th around Q Street with people checking out that vehicle fire. If you're north on the JFK, delays are going to start at Gilmore Ave going to F Street. If you're south on the JFK, those delays start at the I-80 split going to F Street, and then a little bit of a delay on eastbound and westbound Highway 370 between Golden Boulevard and the JFK. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Methodist Health System.
When envisioning what kind of future is possible, the challenges never stop. And neither do we. Methodist, the meaning of care.
The holidays are coming, and what's better than the gift of spending time together? And Tickets for Less and ticketsforless.com is going to help you. You can find tickets to all the best live sporting events, concerts, and holiday shows, and you never pay extra per ticket fees. Plus, you can save even more at ticketsforless.com when you use the promo code THEZONE at checkout for an extra discount on your order. That code again is THEZONE. It's good site-wide at ticketsforless.com, or you can call Tickets for Less at 402-398-1999 and redeem the code over the phone. Secure your tickets and save with Tickets for Less.
Since this is a radio commercial, you can't see the people standing behind me. They're the Langfeld family. Everybody wave. Oh, sorry, you can't see them because radio. Anyway, the Langfelds are the family behind Langfeld Overhead Door, where they proudly install Midland garage doors to fit any space and style, and they don't take a backseat to anyone when it comes to their service. Because if something goes wrong, it's their name on the line. So they're going to make sure it goes right every single time. Langfeld Overhead Door, 402-234-2700.
Steve Sipple breaks down the Michigan game and previews the Wisconsin game. Thursday at Holy Ghost Church on 52nd and Q. Doors open at 5. Program starts at 7, and it's only $10 for adults and $5 for children. Sponsored by Jones Barrel Company and Ray Martin Company.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, by DJ's Dugout, and by McGow Law. Before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
Dingman's Collision Center. We would rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
Those are girthy.
They're very girthy.
Many are saying.
It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
His thing is not organized well. We
No,
continue
it
to
isn't.
learn this.
No, it's
horribly
terrible.
organized.
Better, right there.
College football as you knew it, as your fathers knew it, as your grandfathers knew it, and definitely as your great-grandfathers knew it, is dying. But before it dies, let's enjoy what may be the last season of kind of normal college football. The kind where there are multiple conferences. The kind where there are at least 4 teams. Okay, 3 teams that have a realistic shot at the title. The kind where the players played for the name on the front of their jersey and not for a paycheck where they have to pay Social Security taxes. Depressed about the state of college football?
Yeah, you've seen the
Have
schedule.
no fear. The NFL is here. And who didn't love last season? Tom Brady quit for 5 weeks. The Cowboys and 49ers played in a playoff game. And the Rams won the Super Bowl. Friends of the program, lend us your ears. For it is time to get fired up for football.
Oh, yeah. Alabama and Austin Peay.
Oh, would you stop?
Mississippi State and East Tennessee State.
Stop skipping.
Texas
We gotta start,
A&M and UMass. I mean, this is why we play the games.
Don't
SEC. It just means more here.
Hey, I mean, they don't say it means more here. They just say it means more. And there's SEC on SEC
Push your
matchups.
glasses up your nose, you nerd.
No, I went to Kugler Vision. I don't wear glasses anymore. Boom, roasted, idiot.
No, the real idiots are America for buying tickets to this crap.
I mean, Nebraska plays the bad teams too, John. They just lose to them.
That's right. And I shame them too. I shame everybody. We only get 12 of these a year, and you're going to waste one on this? But yes, it is that blessed time of year where we get the equivalent of college football bye games. So that's why this week's not going to be very good. I'm just going to warn you right now. The Thursday night game's pretty good, though. You got Green Bay and Tennessee. I mean, good from the standpoint of, well, it's better than the college slate.
Yeah, what is the Thursday night college game this week? Oh, wow. SMU at Tulane.
Yeah.
But your team's playing? Creighton.
I know.
Basketball. I was talking about basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Basketball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Basketball.
All right, so Saturday. This is how weak it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, okay. Don't do this. John, we have so few of these left. We have to enjoy what we have left.
No. We do not grade on a curve here. There are no participation trophies given out. If it's a bad week, we're going to call it
here's
bad week.
Here's the thing
it's
that sucks.
Illinois, Michigan on ABC.
Illinois screwed us. This could have been a great
Illinois
game.
screwed us. No,
yes,
America
they lost 2 weeks in a row.
America
That's
screwed
their
us.
fault. That's not America's fault. You can't blame everything on America. Why? Do you hate America?
No. TCU at Baylor on Fox.
That's a game.
It's a game.
And Nebraska plays at 11, right? They do play at 11 this week. There it
Yes,
is. Wisconsin
they
at
play at
Nebraska
11.
with RG3. RG3 on the call.
Yeah.
You know, he went to Baylor. You know who else coached at Baylor? Matt Rule.
Not Todd Monken or Jeff Monken.
Honk, honk.
Yeah, so the 11 o'clock window is it's a window that allows a lot of leaky cold air in your house in the dead of winter.
Oh, God, that's like my parents' old house.
Can we put some plastic over it?
It's a bad window.
Yeah, we had to do that, Nick.
I had to do it
because our house was like 100 years old.
I mean, even FS1, the network that has given us surprisingly good games, gives us Northwestern at Purdue.
See, you make fun of the SEC. Meanwhile, that's a all Big Ten clash, and it's trash. It's a trash fire. The garbage trash fire.
When did you turn into the son of...
I just don't like that people get mad at the SEC when...
I'm going to get mad at the SEC. I'm going to get mad at everyone. I got mad at the Big Ten earlier this year when we had the same thing.
All right, fine. Bad schedule. Everyone...
Let John be crotchety.
Yeah, I know. That's his role on the show.
I mean, I'm sorry that you defend the South at every turn.
Settle down. Settle down. I say we could burn all the Confederate flags, except the ones in the museum, because children need to learn history. But the ones that hang out of trucks, bad.
Well, we need to burn this schedule is what we need to do.
All right, like the Confederate flag.
The 2:30 window is
See, here's another
equally as bad.
We got screwed. You know why we got screwed? Because Kentucky decided to be bad this season. Hey, we're good. We're going to be really good. Kentucky.
You really want to hand out a participation trophy to this week?
No, I'm getting mad at Kentucky for sucking because that could have been a really great game. But no, Kentucky. Thank you, Nick. Kentucky. Hey, Texas at Kansas at 2:30 on FS1.
That's the only game I had highlighted as a game that might be moderately
Miami
interesting.
Clemson.
Texas back.
Yes. Gosh, that was 2 months ago.
Ohio State at Maryland.
Oh, see now.
Go Turtles.
Ohio State and Michigan struggle the week before the game, so maybe they struggle a little bit. Maybe.
Again, you're hoping and wishing. And as our old friend Kool-Aid Steve would say, you know what you can do with hope and wish in one hand and something else in the other. Now at 3 o'clock.
What do we got at 3?
On Fox, we do have a battle for the Big Ten West.
Nice.
Iowa and Minnesota.
Also, you know what else we have, John? You know what else we have? You could watch Big Red Overreaction with yours truly and Robbie Lula on 1620 The Zone TV. Okay, or not.
All right, I'm
fired up for Big Red Overreaction.
And then the evening slate.
What do we got at night?
At night.
Bedlam. Oklahoma State at Oklahoma.
Why is that being played this weekend? That's weird. Odd.
Oklahoma
Strange.
State sliding fast. Oklahoma's already slid down the hill. The one actual game I'm like, oh man, this might be actually fun is USC and UCLA. There's going to be seats used at the Rose Bowl that haven't been used since the actual Rose Bowl.
Since January. Nice. What else do we got at night? Ole Miss and Arkansas? Come on.
What is that?
No, you can't. You're not excited for Ole Miss at Arkansas? A clash of styles?
No woo pig suey from John?
Yeah.
Is KJ Jefferson finally going to play? Didn't play last week.
I mean, it was a close game.
I mean, another reason why LSU
Hey,
Brian Kelly.
how about this? We got a good Pac-12 after dark game. Utah at Oregon at 9:30.
Which will be like 4:30
What?
Hawaii time. I'm trying to think of what time it will be on Saturday when I'm able to watch this game, because this will be about the only window I'll be able to watch.
Also, why are you even crapping on this schedule then? You don't even have to watch it.
That's the best part of this week's schedule, which is why I should give it an A+.
The best part.
But it's I'll be nice because otherwise Josh will have a heart attack. D-.
No, it's a bad week. I agree with you. No, D- is too low. I give it a D+.
Of course you do.
John, we have 2 ranked unranked in the Pac-12 alone and a couple other games. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
It's okay to criticize college
football. I just gave it a D+.
It's okay.
I'm just saying I'm going to enjoy it because there's not a whole lot left. It's the end of the season.
Smile because it happened.
I'm getting sad.
Josh here for the SEC just scheduling all FCS games.
Hey, at least we have football.
Yes,
I
it's
expect
football.
more from a leader.
All right. Well, what do we got Sunday? CBS early window in Omaha, Nebraska. We have the Jets.
Jets.
At the Patriots.
Jets.
That spells Jets. In Honolulu, you also will have the same game, John. In Hawaii, you'll have the
but
same
that'll
game.
be like at 7 in the morning. I don't
Set
think
your
I'll be,
alarm,
I don't
John.
think I'll be watching that at 7 in the morning.
Yes, you will.
Not at
wake
7
up-
in the morning. I ain't getting up at 7 in the morning if I
Your
don't have
body clock is going to wake you up at probably 3 in the morning.
to. I have no idea what my body clock.
You're not going to sleep at 7 in the morning here is noon here. You're not going to sleep till noon. That's impossible for you. You're an old man.
That's not true.
Late CBS game. It's not America's game in the week because it's on CBS, but Dallas at Minnesota. And that's the game you get in Honolulu.
Oh, this will be fun.
You'd rather have Cincinnati, Pittsburgh?
To watch Dallas gag up another lung.
Okay, you're a jerk. And then on Fox.
Did they or did they not gag up a lung last week?
They lost to a good team.
Yeah, a good team.
Got it.
That's about the one highlight, And of course, they flexed the Chargers-Chiefs game into Sunday night. So you get the Chargers 2 weekends in a row.
Noon Fox game is Bears-Falcons, by the way. That's disgusting.
Ew.
Yeah.
And Monday night is Frisco and Arizona. Man.
Ew. D+.
It's just a D week, folks.
But one bark?
It's just
one bark.
I was going to give it like a half a bark.
Well, the bark has already been given.
The
Look at this.
bark's
Zach
been
says, I'm looking
barked.
forward to the Big Ten rivalry game between USC and UCLA. Yeah, put the Big Ten patches on their jerseys.
They should. They should.
Mm-hmm.
Trigger the 6% of people who said that they're against the Big Ten move. Yeah, it's not a great weekend. We'll just have to look forward to Thanksgiving weekend.
Paul says, it's true the olds can't sleep until noon. When I was in Hawaii, I was up at 4 a.m. every day, and I was a young. Yeah, there's no... You'll be up for the NFL games.
Doesn't mean I'll watch it.
You're not going to watch the NFL?
Well, if the wife's still sleeping, I'm not going to turn the TV on.
She'll also be...
I
she
have
is also
no
an old.
idea what's going to happen. I'm not even going to predict.
If you think you can sleep past 10 a.m. Nebraska time, I would be blown away. I'd be very proud of you, but blown away.
Well,
that's not how the body works.
You'll never know.
Yes, I'll text you.
I don't have to answer you.
I'll text your wife.
She won't answer
You ever?
Yeah, she will.
You have his wife's number?
Yeah.
Wow.
We've communicated in the past, Nick, for surprises for John.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of John's wife, a question about her and dumb debates.
Nope, we're not. I'm not. I can already tell you, I'm not answering that question.
You have to answer it. It's
No, I don't.
And
No,
then Nick
I
has
do
to
not.
answer it too.
All right, there it is. Fired up for football. Steve Sipple is coming up next here on 1620 The Zone. The Ford F-150, man, has this truck changed over the years, especially the last 35 years since the first time I got behind the wheel of a Ford F-150. It was Grandpa's truck, and he loved that truck. He would love this year's truck, though. He'd probably be very confused by all of the technology that goes into the modern Ford F-150. You know, the fact that you have the forward and rear cameras, you've got the towing, the pro-trailering system that allows you to help tow your vehicle, all the digital bells and whistles. And right now, when you order your new Ford F-150 through Woodhouse Ford, you can customize it exactly the way you want with exactly the options you're looking for. And that's the way to do it these days when it comes to buying a new vehicle, is to order. And especially when you go through a place that has the allocation that Woodhouse does, because Woodhouse sells so many Fords, they get higher priority, which means you get into your new Ford F-150 faster. Visit WoodhouseFord.com. You can start the order process right there online, or visit them at their showrooms in Omaha, Blair, Plattsmouth, and ask around. Ask about what some of the more popular options are. Their friendly staff can talk you all through it so that you can make the perfect choice for your perfect 2023 Ford F-150. The Ford F-150 from Woodhouse Ford, Omaha, Blair, or Plattsmouth. WoodhouseFord.com.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Creighton Sports Update.
Creighton men's basketball is back at CHI Health Center Omaha tomorrow as they host UC Riverside. Tip-off is set for 7:30 p.m. on FS1. Limited tickets are still available online at gocreighton.com/tickets. That's Creighton versus UC Riverside tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
There are actually two kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world, and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
When I need a new furnace or AC, I choose a company that provides solutions that meet my needs and budget.
When my furnace or AC needs repairs, I call a company with reliable technicians, not commissioned salespeople.
When I need a straight answer, I choose a company that is honest and has integrity.
At Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we provide the best solutions for your needs and budget. It's just part of
the way we do the things we do. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Hi, this is Kathy Knoyer. 'Tis the season at Glasshouse Market within Knoyer Garden Center. We'd like to be a part of your family's holiday tradition. Whether you're looking for a gift for that special someone or a wreath for your front door, we'd like to invite you to shop our stunning holiday market, full of Christmas decor, novelty items, and fresh greens. Shop Glasshouse Market, located within Knoyer Garden Center on 66th Street between Cornhusker and Highway 370 in Papillion.
At Knoyer Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $20.10 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/career. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Last year, I enrolled my family for health care coverage through the health insurance marketplace. Do I need to enroll again?
Yes, we have seen the plans available through the marketplace change, and new options may be available. You must re-enroll for 2023 to ensure you or your family are in the right plan for your budget and needs. Charles Drew Health Center in Omaha can help. Just call 402-451-3553 to set up an appointment with a team member.
I don't have health coverage, and I'm worried that if I get sick, I can't afford the medical bills. How do I get started?
Getting started is easy and free. Just call to set up an appointment with a Navigator enrollment specialist. We will explain your coverage options, answer any questions, help you enroll, and see if you qualify for financial assistance. Open enrollment is November 1st through January 15th. Re-enroll in healthcare coverage or enroll for the first time. Call Charles Drew Health Center at 402-451-3553 to set up an appointment.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
That's not Steve Sipple's music.
Nope, it's not. Sips be doing sip things again.
Sad.
Well, now,
there he is.
There it is.
All right.
Well, screw it. We're not playing the
Sipple,
open.
the snowflake.
We're not playing the open.
It's one triggered soul with reading glasses sitting on his nose.
Well, it is getting darker out there earlier, so
Sipple, the
his nap
snowflake.
and his dinner are both coming earlier
Deserves a mouthpiece to the face.
So
says LeBron's.
So when the time change happens, Sip, does that mean dinner happens at 3:30 instead of 4:30?
Wow, John.
Boom roasted.
Just asking.
I don't know. It's not really boom roasted. We just come after somebody for their age, which they can't control.
Well, yeah, but that's half the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you not make fun of people for things they can't control?
Say again?
You don't like make fun of people for things they can't control?
I don't know. Do I?
I don't know. I'm asking. That's a good point. Yeah, I guess you getting older. It's a fact of life. We all get older.
I know. It's just
you take the good, you take the bad. Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So does this mean we can or can't make fun of the Nebraska coaching search? Because is it something that can be controlled?
And it's getting old.
It's getting old.
It is getting old.
66
days.
Good Lord.
Oh. Are you getting tired, Sip, of this?
Old to me. It's sort of interesting.
But are you getting tired of it?
Not necessarily. I mean, I don't. Maybe I just don't want to concede to that because then it's a negative thought. No, I'm interested in it. I'm interested. So it's so it's not that. So I'm not tired of it. No, I'm very interested in it. I'd like to see how this is going to all. I'd like to see the conclusion.
Sip, are you more interested in the coaching search or the team on the field? Because I've noticed a little kind of like finger wave at some of us that have said for a while, like the season is done, nothing matters. You wrote about it again this week, the idea of it being effectively over. So it seems like you're still very invested in the regular season, which kind of surprises me.
No, the only reason I say that is because I'm respectful of the players. I'm not invested. No, I'm not.
Okay, so you're not interested in the season anymore?
Not that much. No.
Okay.
But I'm respectful of those guys. I really am. This is a hard part of the calendar for for football players, for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't. I'm sensitive to that part of it. And I think there's competitors that they get it. I mean, this is competitive people who understand it now. Yeah, I just wouldn't want to do that to the Garrett Nelsons and Casey. Those guys have had such a hard go, and then just to hear all the time, "Oh, the season's over. Let's just move on." I totally understand the sentiment. I just try to avoid that out of respect for the principles.
Could the length of this search actually backfire a bit? Because, in the beginning we thought, well, you're going to have a lot of time to review and analyze, and Trev can work his contacts and do all these things. But could part of it actually backfire in that when you combine the length of it with the slog of what, the end of this season has been, that the enthusiasm that the fan base will have for the next coach will be less than it could have been?
Yeah, but I don't know what the alternative would be.
Well, I guess the alternative would have been either to fire Frost last year and do the search last year in a short window, or wait and fire Frost at the end of this year. But I don't know if either of those, well, for some people, the first option was terrible. And I think for all of us, we would all agree that if Frost were still coaching today, can you imagine how divided things would be right now?
Oh, it'd be horrible.
Yeah.
It'd be horrible. I mean, no, I can't even imagine it. So it goes back to what I've said a lot, just about the theme of Nebraska football for the last several months, is that it's just in this fix. It's just in this sort of massive fix for which there are no great answers, except maybe we're about to get one. Although even that doesn't feel like, I don't know, I read message boards and I look at Twitter. I don't, it doesn't seem like there's agreement on anybody.
No.
So I don't know. I was going to say, a fix would be naming a head coach, but I don't think that'll do it, at least not in terms of public sentiment, So just got to hope that whoever it is gets it going fast, and that, we don't have to, slog through another 3-9 and hope that it gets better.
On that point, Sip, because someone asked this on Saturday on our post-game show, what do you think of the idea that next year, and it doesn't matter who the coach is, but should there be bowl game or record expectations of any kind attached to next season?
I just, so much of that, John, these are all very good questions, but I'll tell you something. You can't answer it. Here's why. I think sometimes you probably, and me more than maybe Josh because of our age, we still ask these questions in the context of the way college football used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like when there was stability on rosters, for instance.
Right.
It was sort of predictable. You could look at a roster right now and say, okay, this is what they're going to have back. And we can kind of guess how this is going to evolve. But how do you do that? At LSU, that coach Brian Kelly hired 47 staff members after inheriting a roster with 30-some players on it. And they changed it over, and voila, 8-2. Now, is that going to happen here? How do I answer your question? I don't know who the coach is going to be, and I don't know what the roster is going to look like. I mean, they added 34 players to the roster after last season, and those guys are all, or a lot of those guys are huge contributors. Palmer, I don't got to name them all.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to have that? I mean, you're going to have you're going to whip this around and have your leading receiver and your leading rusher and your starting quarterback be out of the transfer portal, new players? Could very well be the case.
And I guess it's for that reason why I say there shouldn't be any record expectations, because it is
I agree.
Either it is so volatile. It also is so volatile, and I also don't think it respects the level that I think it's going to take for whoever the next coach is to set a foundation and to get this right.
Yeah, I've really come around on it to place where now it's really only happened in the last couple of weeks, where I just think it's got to be someone who steered that big ship, who steered a big ship, who steered a Power 5 ship, an NFL ship, something that you would judge as being mammoth, and steered it preferably through some rocky waters. I think that's who it is. Now that doesn't mean. No, I think Mickey's out of it, but that conversation wouldn't exclude Mickey because he's doing it right now. But I'd prefer somebody with much more experience.
Sip, I'm trying to figure out the way I want to ask this question, but basically it's, how many people do you think are in the mix? But I want to phrase it maybe a different way, I guess. Is there a number of coaches where if they were announced, you wouldn't be surprised? Like, how big is that number? Like if I were to say, hey, would you be surprised if Matt Rule was announced? I'm guessing you would probably say no. I'm wondering, how many coaches do you think I could name before you'd say, yeah, that one would surprise me? Because I'm just trying to figure out how wide of a group of coaches could we be talking about right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's subjective too.
Sure.
Someone who might surprise me might not surprise someone else.
That's true.
So it's hard to, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to generalize that question, Josh.
Well, let me just, can I throw out some names and you say surprised or not surprised?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fun. So I'm guessing again, you agree on Rule. Would you be surprised if he was the next head coach?
No.
Okay.
No.
Jeff Monken.
Yes.
Would be surprised.
Chris
Kleiman.
Yes. Surprised. Chris Kleiman. Well, he just signed with Kansas State. So I'd be shocked.
Leipold.
Would not be surprised.
Would not be surprised. Mark Stoops.
Would not be surprised.
Matt Campbell.
Would be shocked.
Shocked. Ooh.
Dave Aranda.
Would be shocked based on what I know.
Okay. You mentioned him a couple seconds ago. Mickey Joseph.
Well, I'd be shocked considering what Mickey said on.
Yeah.
What Mickey said on Tuesday, that he hasn't been interviewed, nor has there been any discussion. Now, Mickey might become. I think Mickey would come into play if Trev's getting turned down, or he gets turned down at the last, in the last stride of this race. I don't know.
Chris Peterson.
Just shocked out of my mind.
Urban Meyer.
Unfortunately, I'd be shocked.
Unfortunately.
Listen to the sadness.
Here's the deal. I mean, I think the winning formula, the no doubt formula, I'm surprised people turn their nose up at is Urban and Mickey. It just seems like the formula to me. I mean, if I were
Urban doesn't have the energy for it.
God forbid,
low energy Herb.
I would say that's it. That's what you need right there. Build off that, and I think we'd all agree that you'd have a great chance to win right out of the chute, and then it would probably escalate from there.
I don't think there's any others that I would say. Did we mention Patterson? Gary Patterson?
Gary Patterson.
I'd be really surprised.
Okay.
So we really don't have a lot of names that you haven't not been surprised by.
There's a name that now we're doing this. I don't mind doing.
Sure.
Yeah, throw a name.
There's a name that came up, and I wouldn't call it a good source. Just came up, and it's Paul Christ. And I would be very open to that idea. Very open.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, he'd have revenge on his mind. Nebraska needs to start beating Wisconsin. He'd understand how to do that.
You should
I'm gonna say,
Sip.
I'm gonna say what a lot of other people have been saying. All right, cool. So they're hiring Mike Riley. No, thank you. I am so out on Paul Christ. Oh
no, that ain't. No, Josh. Don't come on now. That's not Mike Riley. Paul Christ.
He's like a barely better Mike Riley. No, thank you.
Oh man.
No, he's a Bear.
The Bears
now,
suck.
I'm not touting him. But I'm just saying I would be very open to that. Very open to that.
I hope this source is an idiot. No offense.
That's almost better than the person who called in and suggested Pat Fitzgerald and hearing Jack's reaction. This is pretty good. Dave Dorn. Here's one more.
Oh, Dave Dorn. Yeah, good one.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yep. Same.
Okay. All right. So there you go. There's at least a little bit of a cross section.
That's a fun game.
Yeah. Well, then here's one more fun game. You put $10,000 of your own money on the line, and you have to be right, or you lose the 10 grand. Who are the 4 coaches you're picking as the next coach?
So as long as one of those 4 hits,
as long
you're
as
good
one
to
of
go.
those 4 hits, you get your money back.
All right, Leipold, Rule, and I'm not doing this based on what I want.
Right. This is you don't want to lose your $10,000.
Right.
So Leipold, Rule.
Rule. Oh, I'm trying to think of it. I'm trying to think of all these guys that I've been bandying about in my head. I would have said. I mean, the Kleiman news is significant to me today that he signed a new deal with Kansas State. Who else came after him besides Nebraska? Anybody think? I doubt it.
I don't know. Yeah, I doubt it.
Okay, so Leipold, Rule. O'Brien.
Yeah, we didn't mention O'Brien.
Didn't mention O'Brien.
There's 3.
Yeah, O'Brien and Doran. Those are the.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
There might be a wild. There could be a wild card out there.
Oh yeah, that's certainly possible.
But I'm going with those, and I feel pretty good about it.
And you know what? That wild card shops for all of his sideline clothing at Walgreens, and his name is Paul Chris.
Good Lord, I would be. I'll burn
now
this,
I want this to happen.
I'll burn this mother down.
I
man.
want this to
No,
happen.
you wouldn't, Josh. If he runs the ball, he'd be intent on beating Wisconsin. Would understand it. He knows how to win in the Big Ten. I mean, that
good
firing,
teams.
a questionable firing.
Man, they've taken a huge step back though the last few years. Man, big step back.
They did. I agree. They did.
And I don't think he ever beat Ohio State. I think he beat Michigan maybe once. Like he beat up on the Big Ten West.
Matt Rule never beat Ohio State.
His first 4 years.
They were very good, but that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
it's a long time ago.
It's just, hey, listen, I hope the listeners don't hear this as what the Sipple's touting.
No.
People are already tweeting about you on Twitter.
No. You're just saying that's a name that got brought up. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got what you were saying.
It got brought up, and it would say that I wouldn't, if it happened, I'd say, okay, I'll give this a shot.
Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it? The Sipple told USC Paul Christ is a candidate on the
message
scrolls,
board. Good
on the
call.
scrolls.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Yeah. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it.
All right, Sip. Thanks for that great name, man. We have not mentioned him enough. Paul Chris for America.
Glad Josh wraps his arms around it with such vigor.
You know how you were with Mike Riley? That would be me with Paul Chris. I would never give that the time of day. I'd be like, all right, cool. Congrats on failure for the next 4 years until they fire him. Oh, I'd be so mad. I'll move. I'm done. I'm done with this show if that happens.
I'll see you guys later.
Bye, Sip. Some people are now saying, you know what? I'll take Paul Chris then if that means Josh is leaving. That dude sucks. No, thank you.
1620 The Zone is proud to support Share Omaha's Giving Tuesday, November the 29th. And if you want to donate ahead of time or find out ways to volunteer, visit Share Omaha or Share Iowa's websites for a list of nonprofits that need support this holiday season. You can get more details on Giving Tuesday on 1620thezone.com. Dumb Debates is next.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time Saving Traffic Center. A couple spots to avoid on the drive home. We've got a wreck on westbound Giles at 137th. A stall has the right shoulder blocked on southbound 144th at Q Street. Looks like a crash with injuries on Harry Anderson Ave, just south of Q Street is slowing things down. And then if you're north on the JFK, delays are going to start at about Gilmore Ave going to F Street. And if you're south on the JFK, delays start at the I-80 split going to F Street. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Fernando's Omaha.
Thank you, Omaha. It's triple first-place wins for Fernando's. Fernando's is honored and grateful to you for voting them the best Mexican restaurant in the Best of Omaha and Omaha Choice Awards and Best Margarita in the Omaha Choice Awards. Fernando's, family-owned and community-served.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
This week, November 14th through the 18th, is American Education Week. It's a time to celebrate, recognize, and value public education. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Nebraskans know that caring teachers, involved parents, and community support make a difference in a child's learning. Together, we are working to help every student achieve and succeed.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
If you are looking for a better college fit or have completed a 2-year degree at a community college, transfer those credits to College of St. Mary and finish your degree faster. We've made transferring easier than ever. With our 2-week transfer evaluation, you'll know your credit transferability and financial aid package to College of St. Mary in just 2 weeks. And we'll help you determine all scholarships or grants available to you. Take the next step to completing your degree faster. Transfer to College of St. Mary. Apply today at csm.edu.
Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone. Your Big East champion, Creighton men's soccer, hosts Missouri State in the first round of the NCAA tournament tomorrow. Kickoff is at 4 p.m. at Morrison Stadium. Tickets are available at gocreighton.com/soccer tickets. Creighton versus Missouri State. Men's soccer tomorrow at 4.
1620 The Zone, back on the road each home game Friday with our good friends at Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe in Exarban Village. We'll break down all the big games around college football, including the Husker game. Each home game Friday, $6 breakfast entrees. We're doing the show there on location. You know what? If you're the first 20 people that come in and mention 1620 The Zone, you're going to get breakfast free during the show. So get a $6 breakfast when you're at Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe in Exarban Village. Plus, you can sign up to win tickets and prizes every home game Friday on 1620 The Zone.
Steve Sipple breaks down the Michigan game and previews the Wisconsin game. Thursday at Holy Ghost Church on 52nd and Q. Doors open at 5. Program starts at 7, and it's only $10 for adults and $5 for children. Sponsored by Parking Area Maintenance, Inc. and Husker Hounds.
Hey, everybody, it's Gary Sharp. Join me for We Got a Podcast, driven by Woodhouse Auto Family. We get more in depth, have a guest or two, and drop nuggets of info you haven't heard anywhere else. Join us for We Got a Podcast, driven by Woodhouse Auto Family, every Friday in the show page on 1620thezone.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
It'd be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
Throw.
when you're gone.
Listen, listen not to We Did Anyway, dumb debating.
John's computer sucks, Macs are the only way, dumb debating.
Fullbacks are running backs, hamburger steaks.
Josh is too dumb to eat a cupcake.
Mail in a base.
Does John like Nebraska or Creighton?
Just 3 radio hosts on air, dumb debating. Die for the pylon or give up on the plate, dumb debating.
Millennials are great and old should go away, dumb debating.
Rarely do we find any common ground.
Josh wants his food to be the best around.
Even if it gives him fatal flatulation.
Just 3 radio hosts on air, dumb debating. When a tree falls down and nobody's around, you can bet your ass it won't make a sound. Water ain't wet, you know nothing about hydration. Just 3 radio hosts on air, dumb debating. Just 3 radio hosts on air, dumb debating.
It's time for Dumb Debates. the time of the program where you choose the topics. You send us your debates, and we debate them.
No matter what they are.
No, there are a few I'm going to veto.
Nope, no matter what they are, John. Like this one from Jeff.
Well, good. I look forward to your answer.
I'm not married. People do not forget.
Well,
if your wife and mother-in-law, my wife, switched bodies and the only way to get back to normal, you had to sleep with one of them, which one would you choose? I will also add John and why.
What the hell is this?
He's got to explain himself, Nick. Look, the easy
I don't
answer,
have to explain anything. That is disgusting.
I actually think there's an easy answer to
You
this.
think there's an easy answer to this?
There's an easier answer to this. You pick your wife because... Wait, is it mother-in-law or mom?
No, it's mother-in-law.
I guess I don't know what your mother-in-law looks like. She's still
It's your
with us?
mother-in-law, yes, but
Yeah, you choose your wife because at least it's her body.
Right, but it wouldn't be their consciousness.
I know, but
and
I'd
that
rather
would
that
be-
unless the mother-in-law is.
But then
a
your
smoke
wife,
show? Marissa Tomei or something,
and then your wife's
Named it
gonna be
old for
like,
you.
"Wow, my mother, huh?"
Well, look, there's not a good
'Cause,
answer
like,
here, Nick.
consciously-
It's dumb debates. You have to pick.
No, I know.
So what are you doing?
I'd go mother-in-law because if my wife's body or was in my mother-in-law's body,
you mean your wife's mind?
My wife's mind was in my mother-in-law's body. You got that emotional connection.
Yeah.
Then your wife knows that you're doing it because you gotta.
Nick, you in and out, man. You got this. Isn't about emotion. There's no foreplay going on. You're not like, oh, honey, I love you so much. You're like, let's just get our lives back to normal. This is
so
hell.
wrong. This is so wrong.
I know. So we answered it. Now you got to.
No,
Yeah, John,
I'm
come
not
on, be
no,
cool.
I'm not answering.
Come on,
No, this
Josh
is
and I did it.
disgusting.
Be cool, John.
No,
We're not saying
no,
it's
this
normal.
This is not about being cool. We need to have Jeff institutionalized.
Wow.
That's what we need.
Wow.
Jeff needs to be institutionalized. That's silly.
Okay.
Just silly. KD wants to know, now that Josh is a Creighton guy, since he's doing TV broadcasts for the women's basketball team, is he now a Husker hater like John? Many are asking.
No.
There he is.
Got a lot of
sad. There he is, Josh. Josh at the.
I got a lot of J-Sker tags last night. People really want me to be a J-Sker. Many want it. Many want it. Hippie 1999 is like, you give John crap and nobody gives you crap for it. Like, what are you talking about?
Husker hater.
I'm not a Husker hater.
Well,
What a performance by the Blue Jays last
Yes.
night. Holy moly.
They were impressive.
Yeah, they're very good.
All that. I think maybe Flan took some of that to heart when we asked him, hey, your 3-point shooting hasn't been what it was.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And then they unleashed the hounds.
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
That was an impressive win.
It was indeed.
We'll see how Nebraska bounces back, but Creighton, they got something special going on. So you're not going to renounce all Huskerdom?
No, of course not.
Okay.
Of course not.
So what's your answer to that question, John?
Yeah, John, come on.
I'm not answering that question.
Wow.
That is a sick, disgusting, twisted, horrible question.
Brian says, is it better for the Big Ten to have Ohio State and Michigan in the CFP, or is it better to have just one, but also have USC? Brian, are you asking if it's for fandom in sports, just general college football fandom, it's better to have USC. If it's for the better teams, I mean, Ohio State and Michigan are better teams than USC. So if you're just looking at pure, raw, better programs, then...
Are they?
Yes. USC's defense
is Michigan better than USC?
Yeah, Michigan would beat USC. USC's defense is really bad. Their offense is awesome, but their defense is really bad. Michigan, we're judging them way too much this week off of the Nebraska performance. I watched them kick the crap out of Penn State up and down the field. They dominated Penn State. You think USC is better than Michigan?
I think they'd give them a hell of a game.
I'd watch that game. That'd be a fun game.
It'd be
How cool would it be to have a 12-team playoff where we could watch that game?
It would be a lot of fun.
Be very cool. Very legal, very cool.
It'd be a lot of fun. I mean, I would, for to have a USC in the playoff, an old school blue blood program that's not even been close to a playoff in the playoff. Absolutely. I would take that. It's like folks, we're not going to get good semifinal games anyway, because we very rarely do.
Yeah, that's kind of been the brand of the playoff.
The brand of the playoff. I mean, it's almost as if was it the first year?
First year, we had the really close game between Ohio State and Bama, and then the blowout by Oregon over Florida State was a blowout, but it was also so fun and entertaining.
Yeah, it was
because we all hated
because,
Florida State.
Right, because it was fun to watch Jameis self-destruct.
Bingo.
But yeah, it almost doesn't matter who the matchup is going to be. The semifinals are going to blow chunks.
Sadly.
All over the steering wheel, all over the dash, all over the window.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be ugly. It's just the way it always is. Johnny Pig wants to know, how many miles must you travel for your journey to qualify as a road trip?
How many miles?
I don't know if there's a mileage.
I look at it
limit.
hour-wise. Hour-wise. I think anything above 3.5 hours is a road trip.
Oh, why the half?
I don't know. If you were like...
What's wrong with 2.5?
No, if you were to say I'm going somewhere and it's 3 hours away, I wouldn't refer to that as a road trip.
You don't think 3 hours constitutes a road trip?
Going to Kearney is not a road trip. It's just going to Kearney. 3.5 hours or
That's
more.
6 hours round trip.
Going to Iowa City, that's a road trip because it's
That's
4
only,
hours.
that's only an extra hour.
I know, but that's the question. The question is, what constitutes a road trip? You have to have laws, John. You have to define things in this society.
I think you can have a road trip. I think you can, if you're going an hour out of your way, you can have a road trip.
A road trip to Lincoln?
Well,
that's not.
Sure.
No
Okay,
way.
Okay, think about it like this, right? So here, if I said I was gonna go from my apartment, where I live, to Bellevue, I wouldn't call that a road trip, right?
Absolutely
That's
not, because
going
it's
to
not a
Bellevue.
road trip.
But back home, that same distance, I go through like 3 towns.
But
to
how
get to
far
another
of a drive
place.
is it?
It could be 45 minutes.
That's not a road trip. That's barely going to Lincoln. That's just going across a long town.
But you're still going through 3 different towns to get
But
to
you're,
that.
but we're just finding a road trip. Road trip to me is a state of mind of maybe you need snacks in the car.
Well, now here's my point. I think the road trip is about what you're eventually going there for.
Right.
More than the length of time that you spend.
Like if you're going to the store.
If you're going from Omaha to Lincoln for a Husker game,
it's not a road trip. It's just.
I think it can be
That could be a
construed.
road trip.
It can be construed as a road trip.
Wow.
I'd call that a road
what
trip.
what if you have to, because in this state it's not allowed. Let's say you're living in Lincoln.
We got to go across the river to the
And you
FanDuel
got to go,
Sportsbook.
and you got to go.
Promo code
You got to go to
1620.
Council
Colorado?
Bluffs to activate your FanDuel Sportsbook.
Promo code 1620.
And maybe you and the guys are like, man, this is a game. We got a great feeling about this game, man. I got a great number on the total, but I'm going to have to drive to Iowa to place my bet on the FanDuel. Let's road trip.
Well, how much?
And they road trip from Lincoln to CB, place their bets. Heck, maybe even drop a few coins in the casino or whatever, and then come back. I think the road trip is about why you're doing it more than how long you're doing it.
I really like John's angle on this.
Travis texts in. He says, if I can easily go to a place and back in one day, it's not a road trip. Dallas to Austin is sub 3.5 hours. I've day tripped there and back. Yeah, I think if you can go there and back in a day, I don't know if that's a road. I wouldn't consider that a road trip. I would just consider that a part of life.
Going across the length of Nebraska, that's not a road trip.
That's
to you?
absolutely a road trip because that's like 5 hours.
But what about going across the length of Iowa? Because that's 4.
That's 4 hours. That's a road
I
trip.
guess
I
that
said
does fit into your.
Yeah,
but
3.5
then-
hours.
But you can do that in a day. You can knock that out in a day.
You
You
couldn't
can knock that out in less than an afternoon.
Exactly.
Now, if I were to just drive to Iowa City and back, yes, technically that is within a day. But if I'm going there, that's where the road. See, I think part of the road trip
destination then.
No, that part of the road trip is about what you're doing at the place.
That's what I just said.
I know, but I don't think going to Lincoln and spending a day there and then coming home is a road trip. I just think that's going to Lincoln and hanging out for a day and then coming home. That's a day trip. That's not a road trip.
Well, not if you don't live in Omaha or Lincoln.
No, again though.
Okay, what if you go to the Husker game and you stay overnight in Lincoln and then come back?
I still don't think I
see. That's why I think it's a state of mind. I think it's about what you're doing, not how long you're doing it for.
Dave says back in the day we would take a road trip from Lincoln to Manhattan, Kansas, or Ames, Iowa,
Which
for
is
a game.
3 hours.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think it's anything. It has to be for me. It has to be above 3. I just would never. Again, it's a state of mind. I would never be like, I'm going on a road trip, and then oh, cool, where are you going? Lincoln. That's not a road trip. I'm just going to Lincoln.
See,
Even
I
if
disagree.
I'm spending the night there, it's not a road trip.
I think if there's
it's a state of mind.
If there's a specific goal at the end, I think that could be a road trip for sure.
Well, I think that the specific goal is the big part of it. Again, I'm not just driving somewhere for 4 hours and turning around. That's just being a weirdo.
Unless you like going
Right,
for
but
drives.
but by
What
that
about just a
definition,
drive?
by that definition, you're putting the emphasis on what it is you're going there for, not the amount of time you're doing.
I'm doing both. It's time plus tragedy equals comedy. I'm doing time plus time there equals road trip.
Or what if you're going to a place you've never been to before? Say it's not 3.5 hours away. Say it's only maybe an hour and a half or 2, but you haven't been there.
No, that's just.
But you're going to like look at a car or something.
No, that's definitely
Does that
not a road trip. No. Andrew says, is Casey a day trip or a road trip? That's a day trip. I don't know. Maybe I have said road trip.
Casey's a road trip.
Maybe 3 hours is maybe that's my.
What if you drove 8 hours to Denver to get your illegal marijuana that's illegal in Nebraska and come back? Is that a road trip?
I wouldn't do that. First of all, John, that's illegal.
That is illegal.
Second of all, yeah, that's a road trip. You're going to Denver. It's 8 hours away. Duh.
Okay, well, what if you're going to Denver just to, I don't know, drop off a package?
See, at a certain point, though, I'd say, what am I doing with my life?
Exactly.
But
that's not a road trip.
But I would also say at a certain point, the length of time that you are at said place, at said destination, ceases to matter if you're driving that far. If I'm driving 12 hours somewhere and I'm there for 5 minutes, that's definitely a road trip because I drove for 12 hours. That's why, and I know we're going to have the disagreement on going to Lincoln, even though it's an hour away. If I were to drive there, at a certain point, it's not even a road trip. It's just a length of stay. If I'm in Lincoln for a week, it's not a road trip. It's just
here's the other problem
Lincoln
too.
For a week.
What if you're driving a jet car?
That'd be cool. Do those exist?
Well,
yeah, they do actually. Go to the salt flats.
Go to the salt flats.
So
I got to go to the salt flats.
So you could be an old and hang out in the wrong lane and do 25 on the interstate and turn that road trip to Lincoln into a 4-hour journey.
Yes, I could. Again, you're just describing random crap that I could do.
Know. That's why I say I think the road trip is a state of mind more than it is.
I'm with John.
I agree. I am too, Nick,
time.
but I'm not going to have a state. That's the thing that maybe this is where we're disagreeing. My state of mind would never allow me to say I'm going to Lincoln.
Maybe
this
you
is
need
a
to
road
alter
trip.
your mind. Maybe you do need to go to Denver and alter your mind.
Maybe you need to alter your mind.
Open your mind,
time to go to
Josh.
Lincoln for a road trip. No, it's an hour down the road. Doesn't take that long to get there. You just drive and come home.
I disagree.
I can't. So you take a road trip every day, you dork? No.
Because,
that's a commute.
Because coming here to have to work with you two is definitely not a road trip. Definitely. Gotcha.
Chris in Montana says, I think a road trip means that you have a change of clothes and or alcohol is involved. Now, these are things I don't know if I want to
well, then
that
that also is illegal. You're not
I
supposed
think it
to
means
drink
in
and
the
drive.
the end game. A text from the 402 with no name. Oh, no, Tony. Tony says, Josh is way wrong on Nebraska's length. It's more 8 hours. What? 5 hours gets you to almost North Platte. It's 8 hours?
No, it takes 8 hours to get from here to Denver.
Omaha to Shadron. Let's go to Shadron.
Well, see, it's depending. Where
That's
are you
7
going?
hours and 17 minutes. Okay.
I
yeah.
definitely made it to Denver in
But
8.
Shadron is far northwest.
Yeah. And you can't just drive on the interstate, right? You got to do some highways in there, or is that an interstate?
Yeah, there's no interstate. You got to get off the interstate to get to Shadron.
Disgusting. No one wants to.
Yeah, but you get to drive
That's
through
where
the
I
sand
grew up.
hills.
Not in Shadron, but I grew up 45 minutes from the nearest interstate, Josh.
Gross.
You can
take some back roads.
Sounds horrible, Nick.
Yeah, but you know what? When you drive the 2-lane highway, I think it's Highway 20. I don't remember. Through the sand hills,
Hee-haw-haw.
you can go as fast as you want because there ain't nobody out there.
You're saying there are no police officers out there?
Well, there might be police officers. I'm not saying.
So what do you do? Flip them off? Say, pull me over?
No, it's a
Come at me, bro.
It's a very quiet, very low traffic drive.
Yeah, we're all 5 people out there.
Put on some tunes.
Jeffrey says to me, it's crossing state lines as a road trip. See, now that's pretty crazy though, Jeff, because if you're in California and you go south to north, yeah. See, and again, that's where it's all. It's theater of the mind.
It's about what you're doing it for, not how long you're doing it.
That's what she said.
Exactly.
Motion of the ocean.
Let's see.
What else do we got here, John?
Is there a group?
What's your answer to that question, John?
Is there a group running a sport outside of baseball more hell bent on ruining their product than the people running college football?
Oh, I thought the answer was going to be baseball.
Well, he said, is there a group? He's saying outside of baseball.
No, I know. I thought
because baseball,
outside of baseball.
Right.
Why is Formula One? Do I want to know?
They're trying to. They're not enforcing the rules, and then they just kind of come up with other rules, and then they kind of
they're
make
allowed to have engines now.
Yeah, they kind of make excuses for drivers when there's no reason to have excuses for those drivers. They just kind of do it.
There are some arguments for Formula One and NASCAR, yes, that they're doing their darndest to try to ruin their sports by moving races to places they shouldn't be, leaving markets they should never leave, changing rules they don't need to change.
Money.
I wouldn't say college football because, they are about to expand the playoff, and it does seem like the majority of people want that. There are dumb things that college football does, but I don't, they just do weird things, but I don't think they're actively destroying their product.
We'll find out in a few years when there's only 2 conferences left.
Yeah. Trying to think.
I mean, there is a hell-bent nature to them wanting to screw
No,
things up.
that's a good point. If they start doing that, then yes. Then you and I will be in
The ACC
lockstep.
and the Pac-12, right? Those are going to be the 2 left.
Yes, the ACC and the Pac-12. Rick wants to know. Seattle Rick.
Oh, boy.
It's bye week. And Josh, he actually asked this when it was the bye week or the idle
So
week.
you've had this say for like 3 weeks?
Yep.
I was happier back then.
Josh wanted non-football dumb debates topic, so thus this submission. You have to watch one movie on an endless 24-hour loop. You can choose the movie. What movie do you choose?
Oh, this is a fun one. This is an uplifting question. One movie, 24 hours.
So you have to watch
Beastmaster.
it.
No.
You have to watch it for 24 hours. You get to pick the movie. What is it?
I'm down to 3 choices.
3.
Shawshank Redemption, which is my favorite movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Anchorman.
Ooh, wow.
And Superbad.
Ooh.
Because I love those 2 comedies. They are my 2 favorite comedies. The unedited version of Anchorman's close to 2 hours. Superbad is about 2 hours. Shawshank's like 2.5. I don't know if that matters for me. I could watch those movies and never get sick of them because I've watched them a million times.
I've got an answer.
Oh, by the way, Zachary says boxing for the previous question.
Oh yeah, boxing
That's
has
a
done
good
an
one.
excellent
That's
job
Ford hates its
of
fans.
screwing itself.
Nick, what's your answer?
2 Towers extended edition.
Oh, 2 Towers, John. Lord of the Rings.
The extended edition. That's what, 4 hours almost.
It's a long movie. Yep. So
You'd
only
get
had to watch it
annoyed
6 times.
You'd get annoyed by repetition eventually.
Gollum is in it.
The
Gollum's doing Gollum things.
in his pockets is.
Mm-hmm.
The battle is
awesome. Helm's Deep.
Yep.
Hell great battle.
That's it. 2 Towers.
There you go, John.
I'm going to cheat,
John,
because I can do that.
No, you can't.
They edited all 3 of the Godfather films as one long epic and called it the Godfather trilogy.
Oh, but then you have to watch the 3rd one.
Yeah, but I didn't hate the 3rd one.
I didn't either. I just didn't like it.
It just doesn't hold up to the other 2, but it's still it's okay.
The whole opera thing.
Well, didn't they do that?
The opera.
Did they not do that with Lord of the Rings? Could I just?
All right, if I had to
cheat
pick,
like
if I
that?
had to
Do
pick
trilogies?
one,
You get like 12 hours.
I don't have to do it twice.
Because what's your mindset? How are you approaching this? Are you trying to have pick length of time? So you don't want the repetition. It seems.
Well, yeah, the less, because I love Anchorman and I love Superbad too. I am afraid I would hate those movies after watching them for 24 hours straight.
Interesting.
Because it would just be like, oh my God, it's the same thing over and over again. And keep in mind, Anchorman, I think
it's close to 2 hours, the unedited one.
Yeah, but I mean, that's
See,
12,
this isn't like a
that's
song,
12
though.
That's 12 viewings.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie, but I don't want it to be ruined for me.
That's why I didn't pick Baby Driver.
So you're thinking, well, then why would you pick Godfather again? The trilogy, it was the whole.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking, less viewings, but also something where maybe I can find things in it that I didn't see in the previous 7 viewings.
7 there.
As I'm sitting there for 24 hours.
Little
watching
Easter
the
egg.
film.
So you don't want a movie you totally love, but you want it to be kind of long.
You want one you can Zapruder.
Yeah. One movie that comes to
platform?
mind that was pretty long. Hell no. One movie
That
that
one I
came to
picked
mind
that one
that's
time?
pretty long that I've always
Modulation?
liked is The Right Stuff.
Mm.
The story about the U.S. early days of the space.
I've seen that one time.
It's a very good movie.
One time.
But it's also pretty long. But there are some
Nice.
things maybe other things I can glean from it. And I haven't seen it in a while.
See if you have the right stuff to.
See, that's another
watch
thing
the
too.
movie.
I want a movie that maybe I haven't seen as much of,
That's also
so
a
that
good
I
point.
can, when I watch it the 3rd, 4th, and the 4th time, the 5th time, the 6th time, that I can look for things that I didn't already know were there. Like if I pick Star Wars, I got the damn thing memorized. The Blues Brothers, I got the damn thing
You were
memorized.
the chosen one.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost want to pick a movie that I know I'm gonna like,
but you haven't seen a million times.
right? I'm trying to think if there's another one out there.
Yeah, now I'm trying to think of a movie equivalent of that, like a movie that I
Me
did
too.
find really enjoyable, but maybe I didn't totally love all the way.
Right. Because I
Tony says Gettysburg or Dances with Wolves. Holy moly, I've never seen Dances with
I
Wolves.
wonder maybe like Lincoln.
Yeah, I mean it's just history. Solid movie. I've seen it once. Daniel Day-Lewis was really good.
It's a really good question, though, Rick. And I'd have, but that's
what about No Country for Old Men? We just watched that in the movie club.
That movie, I could not watch that multiple times.
See, yeah, and that's another thing. I don't think I want a movie that is dark. Because can you imagine?
Oh God!
Like
You're
watching
talking about dark is in the coloring of the movie or the storyline?
The story.
Storyline.
I see.
You want to watch Seven for 24 hours?
I actually thought of that. That was one that I thought of. Did you watch Seven?
I never saw it, but but how dark that movie is.
What's in the box?
You don't want
What's
that.
in the box?
You don't want that, I don't think. Or maybe, this might be an odd one. Maybe like Inglourious Bastards.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Which I've seen it, but I haven't seen it a lot.
Oh, I've seen that many times.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch a movie I like. Brian says Dumb and Dumber. I'd watch Dumb and Dumber for 24 hours.
Something with probably one of my favorite soundtracks on it. So if I have to keep watching it, at least I'll know I'll vibe with the music. So at some point I can just kind of tune out the movie and listen to the music.
Wow.
That's how I do it.
Sounds dope.
Which in that case, I guess would be Twilight, because I really like the Twilight soundtrack.
Oh, Lord.
The
Along those
Twilight
lines-
soundtrack is really good.
I'm sure it's great. Trent says Dazed and Confused. Great soundtrack.
Amazing movie.
Travis says The Fugitive. You love The Fugitive, John.
I love The Fugitive.
I don't care.
But man, I would get old. That would
All right,
get
John,
old.
you have to answer the question now.
Yeah, John, who?
Adam says, I always thought it was supposed to be your wife and your mother, not your mother-in-law.
Well, he asked it mother-in-law.
I think it makes it even easier for what I said earlier. If
Well,
it's
yeah,
your mother.
of course, because then you're talking literal
There you
incest.
go. Okay, John just answered it. He's his wife's body, his mother-in-law's mind. That's dumb
You
debate.
heard it here.
I said nothing.
But you didn't deny it. Corey says Saving Private Ryan. Good Lord. Now that's I watched it earlier this year. Great movie. Holds up extremely well. But man,
Yeah, but then they go through and have to watch that opening sequence about a
over
dozen
and
times.
over.
It's like, oh, I don't know about that.
Shanktopotamus Upham just makes me so mad. I hate that character. Shanktopotamus says, same question, but a TV show. Now, is it the same episode or is it a whole show?
I'm
It's the
sure
whole show.
we get the whole show.
Jimmy Seinfeld.
Scrubs.
Well, yeah. You might not even be able to get through. You wouldn't be able to get through all
But
of
you just got to
Seinfeld.
do 24 hours of it.
Right. Scrubs for sure.
I would love a binge of Seinfeld. I mean, of Breaking Bad. I'd be that one is actually easier. Now, if it's just one
it's much easier. Yeah. And now if it's just one episode, then
hell, when I had COVID,
then you know what? I am picking the Godfather saga because it was done for television. It was actually put that way for television.
I basically only watched Thrones for 24 hours.
There you go.
Every day when I had COVID.
The COVID boys.
All right. We still have some unsportsmanlike content coming up.
Nice.
And I have a question about one of the candidates who's been brought up many times today. I want to ask next on 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Rossi Clothiers. I scheduled an appointment earlier this week. We'll be stopping by early next week to get some new wear. You know, I was on TV last night. I got some kind messages about the broadcast itself. Not a whole lot of kind messages, though, about the outfit. I know it's time for an upgrade, and that's why I will be going to have a great conversation and figure out what is next for me with Charlie next week there in Rockbrook Village. We, of course, are coming upon the holiday season. Maybe your Thanksgiving get-togethers are a little bit nicer. Maybe your Christmas ones, certainly going to church, whatever it is, holiday parties. You want to look good. You're looking at the wardrobe, especially some of the winter stuff that you have, the warm clothes. Not looking very good. Doesn't fit very well anymore. Maybe it's just a little too old. Well, if you're wanting a classic, timeless piece that's also going to last for a while, head to Rockbrook Village and visit Charlie there at Rossi Clothiers. Whether it is custom shirts, accessories, tie shoes, gloves, and a whole lot more, he will be able to help you out. He knows what type of fit will work best with you, and he knows the style as well. Handmade sweaters, custom shirts, and a whole lot more. Celebrating over 30 years of timeless, elevated menswear, Rossi Clothiers, Rockbrook Village.
Previously on The Crossover.
Ancient Egyptians created the tradition of funeral processions.
Did they drive cars?
And their early rituals carried unique meaning and purpose. Also known as motorcades, processions started back in ancient Egypt. The deceased would be placed on a sledge to be pulled by men attending the funeral or oxen.
That's pretty much what we do now.
I'm going to need you to fast forward a couple thousand years here, Josh.
Mornings on 1620 The Zone, The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike Conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Some sun, but breezy and cold into late afternoon with the temperatures only in the upper 20s. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight, lows around 20, snow showers and flurries around Thursday morning. Otherwise, partly cloudy, breezy and cold and a high near 30. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Heads up, some police activity has the right lane blocked on 49th between Northwest Radial and Sorensen Parkway. If you're west on I-80, delays between L Street and Giles. Slow going on 144th for both directions between 370 and I-80. Stop and go traffic on eastbound L Street between I-80 and 84th. And then if you're north on the JFK, delays from Gilmore to F Street. If you're south on the JFK, stop and go traffic from I-80 to F Street. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Burton AC Plumbing, Heating, and More.
Hi, I'm Mark Evans, owner of Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More. Join us in supporting Food Bank for the Heartland. Right now, if you donate 5 cans of food, you can get a furnace safety inspection and cleaning for only $55. Request service at justcallburton.com.
Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists.
When is the best time to buy a house? The answer is now. It's always now. With interest rates creeping up, the real estate market has slowed down, except for the people that were planning on upgrading their home because of life changes. But the one thing we want to let people know is, even if you buy a house now at the higher rate, we anticipate rates to fall. That means you can buy your house now and refinance down the road. Lots of folks think waiting this out is a good strategy. The trouble is values keep rising, so waiting doesn't really help. Plus, if rates come back down, the market will just get busy again, meaning you'll be competing against more buyers with multiple offers, and you might not get the house that you want. We're seeing the market starting to get back to normal, which is a good thing for buyers and sellers.
Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
The Blue Jays wrap up their season opening homestand against UC Riverside. Pre-game coverage begins with Ravi Lula Thursday night at 6. Tip-off at 7:30. The Blue Jays on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg. It's unsportsmanlike conduct.
You know, there was some shenanigans going on.
The 1620 The Zone.
Please tell me that the question you're about to ask is not about Paul Christ.
I still would love it. That would be fantastic. Just for the takes. I'm just in it for the takes now.
You just want to see me lose my mind every day. You want flame-throwing takes? There's this listener on the YouTube page who's been like retroactively upset about Husker Media for years that we supposedly try to sell everybody on every hire. I promise this listener, if it's Paul Christ, you're not going to worry about that with me. I would not give that hire the light of day. So now I guess, do it, Trev.
Lamestream Media suppressing the new hire.
I dare you, Trev. I dare you.
I have a question about one of the other candidates who's a little more commonly mentioned. And I've seen this a lot from folks. And I got this tweet. I will never, from Justin.
Okay.
I will never understand the rule love. 0-11 at Baylor versus top 25 teams. Only good year he had there was 11-1 and capitalized on a down Big 12 where he only played one ranked team and lost. In my opinion, he will fail here and be gone in 4 years along with Trev.
Sheesh.
Why are there people who are so quick to rule out Matt? See what I did there?
I do. I think a part of it. So that ranked team stat, I remember, who was it?
It's a very popular stat.
There was a media member who referenced it to me near like the beginning of the search when everyone's just putting together their big boards and was like, yeah, he never beat a team that was ranked at the time that they played them.
Mm-hmm.
And this person was not using that as an argument against Matt Rule. It was more just like, hey, have you seen this? Have you heard about this? What a weird stat. That said, Texas, first of all, Texas did finish that season ranked, and they beat Texas that year.
Yep.
So I feel like that is a very easy thing to kind of cherry pick right away. He was there for 3 years.
Also, keep in mind that the ranked losses that he had in that 11 in 1 year,
tell him,
were twice to Oklahoma, who were in the top 10
and made the playoff,
and to Georgia in the Sugar Bowl when they were number 5 and Baylor was number 8, and that was the worst loss, 26-14, and wasn't that weren't they down a quarterback?
I don't remember. They might have been.
I thought they were down a quarter, but anyway.
Yeah, so it's just.
But the bottom line is, it's not like he got run off the field by ranked teams.
Correct, and
you look back, like to his first year,
they were 1-11.
Or his second year, I should say, his second year
when they went 7-6.
They lost to Iowa State when they were ranked. They lost to West Virginia when they were ranked. They lost to Texas
and Oklahoma. Yeah,
but
he was building his program at the time,
right?
They did lose to West Virginia. And then, at Temple, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm going to guess that they didn't play a whole lot of ranked teams in that time. I do know that they played a top. Oh, that stat's fake because they beat Memphis, who was number 21 in 2015. And again, if it's teams that finish ranked, they beat Texas in 2019. So either way.
Oh, so people have been spreading fake news about our guy, Matt.
This stat, I guess, let me make sure that Texas, did they finish inside the AP top 25? In
2016, in the American Championship game, Navy was ranked 20th.
Okay,
and Temple won 34-10.
Okay, so I wonder what this stat is because Texas finished ranked in 2019. So this stat's flimsy.
The stat is
all right. Good.
Flimsy.
Well, we're pushing back against the fake news. All right. So why do people dislike Rule? So my main theory starts actually with something that, in my opinion, shouldn't matter at all, and that's the most recent time that we saw him. He sucked in the NFL. I think that is a huge thing, and I said it as much with Bill O'Brien early on in the coaching search, that mentally I need to look past it. But I think a lot of people, whether or not they will admit it, or if it's something that they have suppressed and they maybe don't even realize it, his lack of NFL success, 5-11, 5-12, and then 1-4 before he got fired, the franchise just being kind of listless while he was there, I think that plays a large part because the most recent that we saw him, he was bad. He won 11 games. He lost 27 in the NFL. I really personally think it starts there. I think that's where it starts, and it doesn't finish there, but it starts there, and then it allows them to go back and look at apparently fake stats that weren't right.
But now people are going to say, but Josh, so then why do folks push back at Urban Meyer when he flamed out spectacularly in Jacksonville?
Well,
why are we dismissing Rule and saying, oh, don't worry about the NFL stuff? But with Urban, it's being brought up his NFL fail.
Well, for me, I mean, it's a personal preference. I think Urban is a scumbag. I don't think Matt Rule is a scumbag.
That's part of it. The other part of it too is, and this
Rule's
is why,
young.
and this is why I say to those who still think, those 5 mouth breathers still left out there on the message boards, who still think Urban Meyer is the only answer.
Dude, his name's Sipple. Don't call him
that.
Steve Sipple?
He didn't have the energy.
Steve Sipple.
He couldn't even make it through 1 year at Jacksonville. He didn't have the energy to do the job at Jacksonville. To go through a rebuild.
Yeah.
And you have to work 5 times as hard in college because you got to recruit.
Yeah.
And it's a difficult situation. And that's why I say Urban doesn't have the energy. He didn't have the energy to do it. Hell, watch him on a damn TV show. He's mailing that in every week.
Yeah. Katie says, Nebraska fans complain about a coach who went 11-3 and maintained success is so unbranded. It's not even funny. Everyone is Mike Riley 2.0 now. Weird. It is. It's very weird.
It's just lazy rhetoric.
I think
this guy's Mike Riley 2.0.
Yes,
Whatever.
I'll bring up a couple things that I think are maybe fair criticisms. He has not coached in the Big Ten. I think that is a part of if you put the pie together, the blame pie, if you will, some of the blame goes to his lack of NFL success. I think there are some that look at him and they say he's never coached in the Power or in the Big Ten. He was only in the Power 5 for 3 years. I think that's a part of it too. I think really maybe that he only had 7 years in college. I don't know, man. Matt Rule was a good coach. Like the more I talk this out with you, the more I can come convinced like he would actually be a really good hire and maybe the best that this program can expect at this moment in time. I love how he built Baylor. That program, we talked about it earlier this week, and so I don't want to compare crimes, but Penn State is obviously the one that we look at over the last decade and maybe further back as like the worst situation you could ever walk yourself into. Baylor was not that much better. Baylor was in a horrible spot. People were actively wondering aloud, could the league kick them out? And he walked in there and he turned that thing around so fast. I remember when they did that, when they had that run in 2019, and then they had another great season last year. And I'm like, if that program with that mess, that institutional mess, not just a coach or a former coach like Penn State had, if that institution can respond and rebound that quickly, theoretically, anybody should be able to do so. He's the reason why that happened. Mike Schaefer brought it up earlier. He's the reason why they had those players that helped win the league last year. They're going to the pros. Like, I don't know, man. He is a damn good coach. I just think the more I do this, the more I talk on the radio, and the more I hear from fans over the years, there is definitely people like Nebraska and they like their team. They don't always pay attention to everything else that's happening in the sport.
No.
And so it's very easy to just hop on Wikipedia and view his overall record, 47-43, and say, oh, Mike Riley 2.0. Which, I mean, it just doesn't explain so much of the story. Mike Riley, end of his career. Matt Rule's 47. He'll be 48 in a couple months. He is young. He's coming off of probably his greatest failure ever in the NFL. I think that dude, wherever he goes next, will be hungry, and I think that he will be a winner because that's what he is. He is a winner. He's a program builder and a winner.
Yeah.
But he's Mike Riley 2.0.
Yeah, I know. It's just lazy rhetoric.
Jack says Matt Rule is one of the worst records against ranked teams. Wake up, dude. All right, Jack, who are they going to get, man? Tell me who you want them to get that you think is better than him and back it up with facts. Like, I don't see, of the names that we have gone through, we went through a bunch of names earlier with Sipple. Him, Dave Doran, Jeff Munkin, Lance Leipold, Chris Kleiman, et cetera, et cetera. And there were some that he thought he would not be surprised if Nebraska could land them, and then there were some that he thought he would be surprised. Matt Rule is better than most of them, Some of those guys, you're pining it on hope. You're pining it on, and look, Matt Rule would be the same thing. And for the record, Jack, I don't think they're going to get Matt Rule, so,
I don't.
Sad Husker fan says, the more I think about Matt Rule, the more I want him. I'm the same way. The more we talk this out. Jordan says, didn't he also say he doesn't like recruiting? So I had this video sent to me this morning by a friend, and the friend was like concerned because he talks about at Baylor, they were bringing in players that were, and essentially he said, like, we're going to find a very specific type of player and we're going to coach you up, and that's why you're going to succeed. Essentially kind of saying, like, we're not going to be stargazing. I guess the pushback that I would have on that is he was at Baylor following all of that scandal. Also, Baylor's not going to recruit as a top 10 team. They never have, and they never really will. I think he was saying it was kind of a little coach speak, but I think there was also a whole lot of truth. I guess I watched the video and I never thought, oh, he doesn't like recruiting. It was just, we have to recruit it a different way at Baylor. And you know what? I'll say one more thing about it too, John. After the failure that this program has had over the last however long, I am okay if a coach comes in and says, we're going to do it a different way. I know what Nebraska's floor or ceiling is as a recruiting team. I need to see a higher ceiling in development. So I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
Bringing a coach that can.
Sometimes we get listen, I get it. And Mickey's talking about it. Players. But the one constant through the last decade or 20 years, however far back you want to go, is development. Yeah. It is the one thing that has constantly been subpar or bad at this program. Not recruiting. It's not been about recruiting. I refuse to believe that. We have done the exercise. We did the hits, misses, and guys. The hit rate on Nebraska's highest ranked recruits is pathetic. It's terrible. They either can't coach them up, can't get them on the field, or they're not good when they get on the field, or the more likely scenario, they just flat out leave. That is the biggest problem. If you told me that I'd take it right now. Give me a coach who can just go out and get 3 stars and coach them the hell up. I will take that right now.
If eventually whomever the coach is does that and hits a ceiling and they're stuck at 9 or 10 wins and they can't get past Ohio State and Michigan, then we'll have a different conversation. But until then, I want to just see them get in that neighborhood of those amount of wins. Like that's why because I see these criticisms. So I'm like, I don't know if this guy has what it takes to recruit to the level that Nebraska needs to if they're going to beat Ohio State. And I'm like, I'm not even thinking that far down the road right now.
Neither am I.
I'm thinking, can they coach enough and well enough to beat Iowa and then Illinois and then Wisconsin and Minnesota? If they can do that, then I'll be like, all right, now how do they get to the next level?
Now we know to
go
to
the next level is it's a skyscraper right now.
All right, we'll be back. We'll probably have a shortened content next on 1620 The Zone. John Bishop here for my friends at McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. Get that furnace inspected, please. You gas furnace owners, it's very important to make sure not only is it tuned up so you know it's going to work and work well for you all winter long, but for your family's safety. And the folks at McCarthy's can handle that for you with their twice annual inspection, which comes as part of being member of the McCarthy's 1 Hour Comfort Club. The Comfort Club members get an inspection of their furnace and AC twice a year to make sure everything's running properly, smoothly. You also get discounts on repairs. You get priority service and a lot more. And it all comes at one low monthly fee that never changes for the lifetime of the membership. So visit 1 Hour, McCarthy's1hour.com and find out more about the Comfort Club. And know that when you place your appointment with McCarthy's, they'll be on time because they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. The McCarthy's promise. McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. McCarthy's1hour.com.
From sports medicine to spine, bone, and joint problems, Nebraska Medicine is your home for the region's most comprehensive orthopedic care. Our specialists have the unmatched expertise to diagnose and treat common and complex problems, with surgery being a last resort. With multiple locations, our leading care is miles ahead, yet close to home. For orthopedic advances, this is where you begin. Visit nebraskamed.com/ortho.
Home is with you wherever that may be.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
West Omaha, you're in for a treat. Cops is now open at 180th and Center. Famous for their pizza and wings, but with their new location comes an extensive new menu that includes salmon, certified Angus beef fillets, ribeyes, New York strips, several pasta dishes, salads, and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Now open at Shadow Lake Town Center and 180th and Center. Click copspizza.com to see the menu. Pizza, steaks, pasta, salads, and so much more.
Gain presents a tale of longing and long-lasting scent. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Add Gain scent beads for an even longer lasting scent.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/enjoy. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/enjoy. That's BARTESIAN.com/enjoy for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/enjoy.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction. Presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more. Join the show immediately after the game and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction on 101.9 The Keg and 1620 The Zone.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We are rapidly growing and adding new customers, which means we need new route drivers and service technicians. We have new jobs for those new to the industry with little or no experience, and new careers that require knowledge in the coffee and vending world. There's a good chance we have just what you need in a new job. Host Coffee offers competitive pay and understands the work-life balance. Apply today at hostcoffee.net/careers and join our team.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike.
All right, let's get to it because we were a little long in the last segment. Go.
The Creighton women never trailed last night and won in dominating fashion versus Nebraska. How underrated is this team?
Seems like they would be pretty underrated.
They're sitting at 20 right now in the AP poll. They're off to a 3-0 start.
I would guess that there might be some Nebraska women's fans that are hoping that it's not because Nebraska was overrated.
I think it's more. Take it more as a positive on Creighton versus a negative on Nebraska. I think they're definitely a top 15 team. Need to see more from them. But I think when the next poll comes out, they're probably going to be climbing a little higher. But I think they're absolutely maybe 13, 13, somewhere in there.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think, what's going to be up next. Obviously, the only other ranked team that's going to be on their schedule for the moment is UConn.
Stanford.
Oh, did I miss Stanford?
Stanford's second.
I forgot that Stanford was on the schedule.
That's a road game.
I forgot that Stanford was on the schedule. So
yeah,
and Villanova's ranked. I didn't even see Villanova's ranked. Holy cow!
So they're going to have this nice stretch where they're seeing quite a few teams.
Kentucky's Oscar Tshiebwe returned last night and had 22 points and 18 rebounds, but he fouled out, and Tom Rizzo's Michigan State upset the Wildcats in double OT. Did we underestimate Coach Rizzo's unranked Spartans?
The best part is Nick doesn't understand the joke.
I know. I'm laughing at the joke, though.
I am too.
Nick, great delivery.
It was a perfect delivery. Yes. What? We always underestimate this team, right?
Tom Rizzo.
Old Tom Rizzo. He gets them playing at the right time. No, it was pretty impressive for Tshiebwe, who had been out. The first game of the season, had the off-season procedure, and then comes out as 22 and 18.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
I couldn't believe it when I saw, last week or whenever when we were trying to remember when this Tuesday night thing was going to happen. And I saw, there's the other one was, what was it? It was Kentucky and Duke
and Kansas.
Or Duke and Kansas. And then I saw the Michigan State and I was like, wait, they're unranked? What? Not even in the top 25?
Not even in the top
they have definitely taken a noticeable step back, but maybe Rizzo's gotten things turned around.
Way to go, Coach Riz.
And with neither Coach K or Bill Self on the bench, Kansas rallied late to beat Duke. Did we miss either of them?
I missed the game because it's college basketball in November, and it's not a local team that I'm paid to watch.
Wow.
I saw a few tweets last night about how bad college basketball is, and I was like, my people. Not women's hoops, that's for sure.
Well, there was a combined 4 for, at one point it was like
Great
4
sport.
for 36 three-point shooting.
Great sport, Nick.
Awesome sport.
It is a great sport.
Yeah.
Speaking of great sports, college hoops, look who's back,
folks.
Minneapolis, Dan Schulman, and my man Dickie V is back, and we are so happy to see you back.
You back in the groove like riding a bike?
Well, yeah, it's, really, this is the best medicine I could have, sitting there courtside. I'll tell you one thing, it beats laying in the hospital doing chemotherapy, I can guarantee you that. And I'm just having so much fun. The people have been so great, so kind, all day at the hotel. And I just can't say thank you to so many who encouraged me, inspired me to really battle and to win that battle.
I feel bad for Dick Vitale also had takes.
Season Feast Week is next week. There's Maui, there's the PK in Portland, there's Atlantis. There's so much going on over the next couple of weeks.
I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to be negative about it, but I've said it so many times. I think college basketball does an injustice for itself starting the season so early. I really believe it should start right after Thanksgiving. I really do. It's all about the Heisman. It's all about what 4 teams are going to be in the football Final Four. People are football crazy now.
Do you agree?
Absolutely. Very good take. And we could start the sport in March, and I think that'd probably be the best for all parties involved.
Stop.
That's when everyone's going to be paying attention anyway.
That'd be madness, Josh.
That would be madness in March.
I am so glad to hear Dickie V's voice. We just lost John Madden a few months ago, and a guy whose voice just embodies that sport.
Mm-hmm.
Dickie V is to college basketball what John Madden was to football.
Nebraska isn't allowing official visitors this weekend for their final game of the season. This was first reported by Brian Munson. Things that make you go,
I did get a little pause, canceling a visit, maybe because.
Is this the whole, it's an 11 o'clock game and we can't get anybody here?
No, I took it to mean because they have their coach or, maybe something like that. That was the theory on the boards. Disagree? Why would the university cancel it?
Well, yeah, and I thought the idea was that Mickey's still going to be around anyway. He wants to be around. Don't you want him still out there recruiting the guys?
That's why we're going.
Or maybe they saw the forecast and felt the weather the last 9 days. It's like, damn, too damn cold around here. We're not going to bring all those Cali kids in for this.
Speaking of cold, tomorrow I'll be at the soccer stadium. I won't be here for the show. As Creighton plays in the NCAA tournament, it's going to be, oh, Lord, in the 20s?
Bring a scarf.
19-mile-an-hour winds. I'll have a scarf. Should I wear? So I have a black pea coat like yours. It's not as long. I need a long pea coat.
Get a long pea coat.
But I have a yellow puffy coat that's way warmer, but it's yellow. I mean, super yellow.
Well, but that way you don't get run over on the field. They'll be able to see it.
That's true. I'm an unbiased sideline reporter, Nick.
Oh,
unbiased.
yeah.
Should I wear the yellow one?
Yeah. Go full Coldplay.
You better wear whatever's the warmest.
You're all yellow.
You better wear whatever's the warmest.
I'm gonna wear my. So I run. I have some running tights. I'm gonna
What?
wear those
Congrats
underneath
on Boston.
my pants. Thank you, Nick. I'm gonna wear those underneath my pants. A few pairs of socks. Maybe get some hand warmers. I have some green gloves, mittens I just got.
Oh, you're gonna go full John Deere.
I think I'm gonna like John said, I gotta try to be warm.
You better be warm.
Nothing runs like a Josh.
You know what's warm? Not bet of the day for me.
No. Next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Your vehicle is important. It gets you where you need to go, but it does much more than that. I'm Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center, and at Dingman's, we know your vehicle is an investment and that safety is your priority. To make sure your vehicle is as safe as it was prior to an accident, bring it to Dingman's for proper, safe, and certified repairs. We protect you and your investment. We've been voted Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Find us at dingmans.com.
Your Big East champion, Creighton men's soccer, host Missouri State in the first round of the NCAA tournament tomorrow. Kickoff is at 4 p.m. at Morrison Stadium. Tickets are available at gocreighton.com/soccer tickets. Creighton versus Missouri State men's soccer tomorrow at 4.
Start week 11 of the NFL season off right. You want to know how you do it? You can do it with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. It does not matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. You're going to get free bets back if your Thursday night same-game parlay doesn't hit. It's a perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. As Green Bay and Tennessee meet, Derrick Henry, he's been running roughshod. Over rushing yards, how about Aaron Rodgers under passing yards and an anytime touchdown for Alan Lazard? You could put all those together and be a big winner, or choose one of the popular pre-built ones in your FanDuel Sportsbook app. However you want to play, you can bet the NFL on Thursday night with a no-sweat same-game parlay. Just sign up with promo code ZONE. If you don't already have an account, if you do, you're set. Just sign in to see what you got. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 over, present Iowa. 3+ legs, minimum $1 bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires 7 days after receipt. Maximum free bet $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Everyone deserves to be connected. That's why Cox has high-speed internet to fit any budget. Stream, chat, and connect at an incredible price. You're probably thinking, wait, what? But yeah, it's true. Learn more at cox.com/ACP. Non-transferable, one per household. Application and eligibility decisions are made by the FCC. Other restrictions apply.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water, pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
The Blue Jays wrap up their season opening homestand against UC Riverside. Pre-game coverage begins with Ravi Lula Thursday night at 6. Tip-off at 7:30. The Blue Jays on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. The 1620 The Zone.
And you know why I'm laughing, don't you? Now, it's time for the Unsportsmanlike Conduct Bet of the Day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by nobody.
You gotta be kidding.
Really, we don't have a sponsor. Sorry.
All right, yesterday was bad. I had the over in the Creighton Nebraska game, but Nebraska decided to dribble off their feet many times and turn it over, so they didn't score enough. Nick had the Jazz, so he is one loss away from being Mr. 5,000. And John had Kansas on the money line. He was the winner. I don't know how you've done this, John. You are almost 40 games below 500, but you're up 1,000.
It's called smart betting.
Is that what it's called?
It's called smart betting. You look for the right amount of juice. You look for the right amount of juice.
I'm going to go with Northern Illinois minus 1.5 tonight in Maction at home versus Miami of Ohio. Minus 104.
Give me the BYU Cougars minus 9.5 tonight at home against Missouri State. Minus 115.
Josh, if I'm going down tonight, I'm going down in a blaze of glory.
All right.
Bulls, Celtics, Timberwolves, Pacers, Cavs.
Oh, my gosh.
Plus 1835.
Plus 1835?
Yep.
It's better today.
Iowa.
Aaron texts in about my outfit tomorrow. He says, running Big Bird with my big yellow coat.
Well, there's no feathers on it, is there?
No.
You should get a yellow feathered coat.
I should just run a lot around the pitch. That'll help.
Yeah. Can
Keep
they
me warm.
stop you? Not if they don't catch you.
Well, no, as long as I say
Well, they'll
outside.
catch him because he jogs, not so much runs.
Oh, dude, I'll outrun those refs. I'm like, what's your fastest mile, ref boy?
What if they also run marathons in their fun time?
Then
Ooh,
they,
then you'd be in trouble.
Yeah, they might catch me.
So Josh will be at the soccer pitch. Jack Mitchell will be in, and I can't wait to get a reaction from him.
Oh, God.
About Sip's suggestion that Paul Christ. He heard Paul Christ's name.
Good Lord.
He wasn't endorsing him. He just said it was mentioned to him.
And you have Jesse Temple on talking Wisconsin?
We're going to talk Wisconsin with Jesse Temple,
Oh,
Robin
awesome.
Wash at Ravi Lula. We
Awesome.
have both Blue Jay and Husker hoops tomorrow. Huskers are playing St. John's.
Oh, I think that game's actually on television for once.
Yeah, I believe it's on FS1.
It's a 5:30 game.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
And the Jays will
Fun.
be taking on
Shopping.
UC Riverside.
Cool.
Right here on 1620 The Zone.
Nice.
So
then I'm back Friday.
So that'll do it for the program for today. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. And we will talk to you Monday.
Well, I'll talk to you Friday.
Bye.
Bye.